3, 50% win rate, but it does matter in this match. And Aurora first bans Yuzong, full respect, caging the hero pool of Sanford.
And that's it. Even for Coach RC, sorry, Midnight, I just have to quote it. The CC ban as well.
Yeah.
Actually, Coach Wolf specifically highlighted, watch out for the CC priority, so why not just ban it all together? And even the Lunox actually for Aurora has been removed.
Yeah, they're hitting a lot of stones here for TL PH. They removed Domic's best gold lane and also the flex route of the gold lane fighter. Now, if you wanna go to gold lane fighter route, there's only the Rubies, the Esmeraldas, Banes, but Aurora's only shown to use Ruby. But they haven't really performed with it. Even with the first match that they played Ruby with, Domikite, it lost against Team Falcon. So now, Aurora, they don't want to let Carl Teasy get his hands on the Lancelot, but Yi Sun-shin is still up for taking, might consider picking it now. They don't want to reserve it for Red 3. And then, Gatot Kacha, this is a very stable draft for TLPH. For Aurora, though, might want to consider getting the Kimi for Yue as early as now, and then potentially a marksman, something like a Granger. Or Uranus/Alice, honestly.
Because honestly, for Dominic, we've mentioned his heroes onto this match. He's more on the 50-50 when it comes to the fighter laner. So you would want to set him up onto a hero he's more comfortable with. And a high loss here for Aurora to finish off their first phase of the draft.
This is peak Aurora week 3. This was what they used to do, like get jungle, and if they need to get gold for Domikite and then pair it up with a Hylos. This shuts down the YSS for TLPH, but Sanford gets his hands on the Arlott. This is going to be a good pick because now they will be able to block off XP laners that can deal with the Arlott, such as the Alice, Uranus. They don't even have to worry about Lapu Lapu, honestly.
And this is honestly a very good draft here for Coach Arce, considering that even though you've revealed your XP and roam as early as the first phase, but it's alright. And even banning out the Alice here, just so they could ensure that no one will be somehow so flexible here onto the map to retain their position.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because now they can just remove some of the problems for Sanford, make him very viable in the turtle fights. And now Aurora shutting down gold lane fighters, but I don't think they have enough. Because honestly, TLPH, now that this Arlott's lane is secured, they could just get whatever Oheb wants, like the Esmeralda. If he wants to go the marksman route, he can go for the Obsidia, last pick. They are red side, so that is a definite possibility.
So many options still here for Oheb. Even the Cho Gold.
Cho Gold, yeah, indeed.
We've been seeing that here onto our playoffs. And for Aurora, I would love to see them bound the Kimi. Because if ever they would go for a route of a fighter for Oheb, the Kimi is still an option here for Sanji. But we cannot forget the Forza, of course, being banned out here for game number 1.
Yeah, now Sanji, he has a lot of options here. Farsa was the best. I wouldn't even consider it like best because there was a Hylos in the game. So maybe now you think about heroes like Eve, Kagura, well, Lunox has been banned out. Even Valentina is okay here because you do get that Glorious Pathway Steal, which is going to be good with the Gatot Kacha AOG. So that will be a good combo. If they want Oheb last pick, Valentina is a good red 4.
Oh, or maybe the Eve.
Yeah, Eve or Val.
Yeah, for the pokes around here for the early game. But for TLPH, they might actually go for an Oheb hero this early. Oh, no. It's going to be a Selena. Okay, there's option E. Go for the Selena here for Sanji.
This is the TLPH normal picks. We don't care about meta picks. We care more about our signature heroes. In TLPH, I think this does accelerate their game from the very first throw, because now Carl Teasy has a choice whether he wants to contest turtle or not. They have side lane pressure and also the acceleration of farming speed for the Yi Sun-shin, because now you have the traps, you have the you can even get Season Hunter on Sanji just to boost the farm of Carl Teasy. So now Aurora, he does get his hands on the Lapu Lapu, and then Kimi or Novaria, Selena Novaria. This is what they used to run against Onyx Philippines. They keep matching the Selena with the Novaria.
Yeah, and considering the map is the expanding rivers, they would want somehow to catch more vision when it comes to the objective game here for TLPH. And now all that's left is going to be a hero here for OM. Any predictions on this one, Midnight?
Esme or Bane. I think Esme or Bane is good here. They don't really mind playing into the pokes of the Navaria, especially those two heroes have heals.
Dragon is ready anytime.
Okay. This is spicy.
I just mentioned that earlier, but I didn't expect it to appear this early for game number 1.
There's a big risk. This is funnel strat for TLPH. They're really focusing on Carl T's farm, which might cost them the late game because there's a lot of ways for Aurora to actually deal with the YSS.
It's also reflecting here onto our index, wherein onto the late game potential, there is where it will spike the most here for TLPH. So many crowd controls indeed here. But for Aurora, considering that they've got the Lancelot onto as a Demon Kite, this will be a battle for our king onto the jungle. But moving forward, let's see if who will get the first blood. First game here for our first match of our upper bracket, third day of our playoffs. Let's get it over and start with our game. Casters, it's your time.
The race to Jakarta begins here. The upper bracket finals, first to the grand finals, first to M7. Game 1, Aurora, Team Liquid Philippines.
You could feel the momentum seep through the way both of these teams decided to go in with their drafts. Very comfortable picks so far that we're seeing on both sides, and I cannot wait to see the XP Lane showdown.
Brigida and Leo at your service for this long haul slobber knocker, expecting no less than 5. Aurora last night was sweated by a TNC. I think that whole fighter side lane really gave them a run for their money. Now look at this, it's Oheb who's rocking a choke against Dominkite, who is proven. Our panel mentioned it. Athena and Midnight, they said, hey, Dominkite, he's not so good on them fighters yet.
Yep. And I feel like Aurora also started to realize a few things, especially after yesterday. Because it's not like teams don't get to adjust completely after observing that Aurora does stick with this plan, but Carl, barely dodging the Star Shutter.
Revitalize already used by Daddy JP. There's no way he's gonna let one of his sons die. Not like that. Edward!
Not Carl. It can't be Carl. Sanford here against 2 though. He gets to walk under the turret and unbreakable from JP as well. But that's all the help he's needing for now.
All right, 2 close calls for Liquid. Aurora, they get a small lead off of that. They get to push the cavalry back out from their side of the jungle. Let's go back to that gold lane matchup. Again, a Granger versus a Cho. I think this will really make more of a difference in actual team fighting.
I agree. And when the more macro scale rotations come into play, because we saw it even from Benny yesterday. There was a time that the Cho got to complete a solo kill against a Ruby who was just trying to rotate and regroup with his teammates. So it's not impossible for this Cho to do the same against a Granger.
You gotta watch out. Oh my god, the flicker from Oheb. Baby Cake's doing work, but Dominkite refuses to fall.
He gets to keep himself safe. That turret, the advantage that he gets, the additional sustain and defense, and that's a free turtle that Aurora takes.
You know what? I think Aurora knew that something was afoot, that there was shenanigans around the lower half of the map, because Carl and Oheb, they don't usually do this. They don't usually telegraph where they are. So Aurora, again, kudos to their coaching staff. Kudos to Master the Basics, to Dexstar, and to Khalad. They were like, Dominkite, you watch out for yourself. You protect yourself.
Yeah, and wasn't this one of the things mentioned in the Howl? That you gotta take away the first turtle from Team Liquid Philippines. Not that Team Liquid wanted to get it for themselves during that instance, but it feels like they didn't even allow for Team Liquid to consider even positioning themselves or contesting that objective at all. It was just that quick of a decision from Aurora.
So Aurora is playing off of former knowledge. This is just, again, knowing Liquid inside and out from the playoffs, from the regular season, and this is going to be key to the Northern Lights getting a good start. Let's check out the items real quick. Not much of a difference between these two teams. Again, a paltry lead for either side.
I guess it's the Encourage that's the most
interesting. Again, light on that high loss with an Encourage and of course an Elegant Gem. He's playing very low to the ground.
Yeah, this has been Light's choice for the Roam Blessing since yesterday. And I feel like it suits Aurora so much. Hold on, he's finding Sanford here I know I did mention wanting to see the XP lane showdown, but Rora, even though they don't get to take the kills, they're doing a great job at somehow caging the Apex Predator for now.
Yep, by caging Sanford, you avoid him from making game-changing plays early on, delaying that rotation, delaying him from rotating out and affecting the rest of the map. So Edward's playing man-to-man defense, or should we say man-to-beast defense, because the Predator currently just can't do much. Now we see them rotating down to the lower corner of the map. Second turtle spawned. Liquid has a bigger presence here. Carlteasy with an amazing push and a pull. Sanford checking at that pixel brush. Oh my god, 3-man echoes!
Oh, that's a 4-man actually. Yue also caught by the final slash, and that's gonna be first blood for Team Liquid Philippines. Aurora still deciding to join in the glorious pathway already laid down. Demon Kite can't fight anymore though. He's very low, and Edward 2 will fall next. Light trying to run away, but then Team Liquid, they're able to take 3 and they actually want more. But will Light allow them to? Sanford makes a double.
It's not up to Light. It's about that Apex Predator getting unleashed. He joined the fight, went straight for the important targets. And when you say gold lane fighter and you look at a Cho, I think that's a misnomer. This is a gold lane assassin. You see the precision that OHEB put on display. Totally ruining Rora's backline.
You gotta look for him if you're Yue. You want him to be part of that Astral Echo, but even then, you couldn't stop the surprise of a flicker way of the Dragon play. You can't entirely avoid that, especially if OHEB's just really keen on looking for the right targets. And just as we mentioned, the Apex Predator being caged, at that moment he just felt unleashed.
No, he caged all. It was a total opposite. I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me, or something like that. Liquid up now by 3,000 gold. Brigida, 6 minutes in, they missed out on the first turtle, but that turtle was but a speed bump. It seems like the cavalry, the stampede is just getting started.
Yep, it's gonna be a lot more terrifying if Liquid have learned how to adjust, even despite not taking the first turtle for themselves. Because I feel like that's a major thing.
God.
But JP already using the Revitalize, only fighting up against Light at this point though, so they won't necessarily be taking any kills from there.
He's fine. This is what JP is built to do. He's a trailblazer. Checking how deep the rest of Liquid can dive in. The bottom lane though, this is definitely the recovery lane. It's totally in shambles. Again, 6.5 minutes in, I don't think Dom and Kite expected to be this far out. I'm pretty sure he still expected that tier 1 to be there until he built maybe his 3rd item. But now, what's he at even? Maybe he's on his winter, his Hunter Strike, and then maybe on the way to the Sky Piercer. Like, that is best case scenario for a Granger that was pushed out of his lane this early.
But at the very least, he hasn't died just yet, and it's not like we don't see him suddenly pick up some maniacs every now and then when Aurora actually find that one big team fight. So that could be a possibility for them, but a 2-man final slash forcing Demon Kite to move away. Carlteasy has the turtle all to himself, but not for now. That's another way of the Dragon onto Demon Kite. What a perfect pick-off for Team Liquid Philippines.
Edward coming in with the bravest fighter. Everyone getting hit hard via the help of that Echoes, but they're struggling to find the follow-through.
Now Light might go down next, but Sanford has all his eyes set on Dominkite. He picks up Light for now. Dominkite runs away, but Edward will be the trade.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Aurora are struggling to set up an amazing combo wombo across the big 5v5s, but they just can't make it work. Too much of a disruptor Liquid's picks are. The way the Dragon, the final slash out, even that rogue arrow from Sanji ruins everything Rora's trying to set up.
Because you could see Light. You could see Light trying to find a way to the key members of Team Liquid Philippines. He actually got to stand in front of Carlteasy. But that's the thing, he was all alone because of, again, the amount of disruption that's in Team Liquid's lineup.
And that's why the setup seems so slow. That's why even when you think Aurora should have started take 1, 2, 3 down from Liquid, you're like, how do you do that when 2 have already died on your side? Aurora are down 5k gold. The stats say Demon Kite is down 5 minutes away from reaching level 15 away from Carl Deasy, and Carl hasn't even gotten kills. He's just been farming like a madman.
Yep, and he's already 2K up ahead of Demon Kite. This is a very unusual scenario that we're seeing right now, where Demon Kite's behind in terms of levels, in terms of gold, and he's not able to keep up entirely. I mean, that's a 3-level gold lead we're seeing in the hands of Carl Deasy.
Golden EXP, it's miserable. But these two mid laners, let's talk about this real quick. Astral Recall into the Star Shatter versus the Abyssal Arrow. Better hit rates on Yue, but what does it mean? Oh my god, the Purified has stopped!
Oh.
The final slash is Sanford! Gets shut down, the Hunter becomes the Hunted.
And now,
AOG back!
that's the first stack that they get on his Sky Piercer. Will they continue this fight though? Because they already lost 2. And that's right before this Lord actually spawned, Leo.
So 3v5. Liquid, for the first time in a while, have to consider we have less bodies on the floor. Sanji throwing out an arrow.
What? Light's already half HP with just that single combo. And now that's making things a bit awkward for Aurora.
The
But they're
blitz.
still deciding to blitz the Lord. Carl Deasy trying to make his way. He has to deal with Edward first. Oheb looking for a target. And it's going to be Light instead. But on the other side of the map, Carl Deasy finding Edward. And Sanji has a double kill.
Oh my god!
Carl Deasy and Sanji! What a chase from the cavalry!
Nothing comes for free. A stampede in the wake of a stolen Lord. Rora, highway robbery up against Liquid when they were down 5,000 gold. Liquid with a punish.
What Lord? That Lord's gone! Team Liquid Philippines. It's as if it never even existed. It wasn't even able to get past their tier 2 turret. That's how quick they were able to deal with the Lord right after they just forced the fight. And normally, fights that are forced after you lose the objective are very dangerous, but they made it work.
This is the prime example of living outside of your means. They spent their whole paycheck to have one night of fun, and they spent all of their resources to try and steal one Lord, and they lost 3. Make that 4 members on the way out. Liquid ended up with a bigger lead because Aurora got tunnel visioned from that Lord. 7,000 gold now between them, and all the outside turrets wiped out.
And I just said, Dominic Kite got his first Sky Piercer stack, but then
Got shut down.
he got shut down. I don't even know if you could consider it to be a shutdown, because he just had a single kill.
So he has like 5 stacks now, because you lose half of it on the way out when you die. Looking at the items, so far 2,000 between these gold laners. The time-tested Granger and the Assassin in the gold lane, that show. And then between Demon Kite and Carl Deasy, forget about it. That's 3,000 gold now.
That's too much. Even JP, knowing what he has to do and what his job is, prioritizing the Twilight armor. So that's why you always see him standing in front of wherever Yue tries to throw out those star shutters. But oh, Mountain Shocker, Astral Echo thrown out as a response. But they won't commit anything just yet. But look at how Team Liquid Philippines constantly forces Aurora near the base.
Dag nabbit, you see how many projectiles were thrown out? The boat, that arrow, a random final slash can come in via a flicker, an AOG from Daddy JP. It's just too much that Liquid is throwing at Aurora without even considering that gold lead. Again, 7,000 gold. Calculating now, that's a full item on each of the cores, plus change across each role.
And although you would want to look at Aurora's potential in the late game, the way that you could definitely depend on the Novaria and the Granger for their late game damage, it feels like the setups take a lot more time compared to Team Liquid Philippines, who could just decide to fight whenever they want to.
Oh, yeah.
You could say, I guess, it's the same for Edward, but that's just Edward. When you want Light, Yue, and Dom and Kite to be in sync with one another, then there has to be a certain sequence to how they lay out their skills. Team Liquid Philippines, it feels like all these projectiles you mentioned are just thrown out whatever they want to.
Yep, and it's not like Edward or Light can catch them for you. They have to be proactive in positioning, proactive in initiating, and they just can't die. Again, when Light or Edward are at half health, the rest of Aurora have to back out. So there's the Mount Shocker. Carl Deasy sees everyone.
here? Why is actually Light still there? I think that's going to be my question for now, because that's going to be a free kill over to Liquid. And who did the zoning for them? It's just JP, I think.
It was unnecessary. Light was way too far, light years away from where the rest of Aurora were. I don't know what the comms were, bring it up, but one can only assume, oops, something to that effect.
Because I feel like they wanted to make their way, but this is an 8K gold lead nonetheless.
Huge.
We've seen instances of Lancelot stealing away objectives countless times, especially in this season.
Maybe only second to Hayabusa as the most steal-capable hero.
Yeah, but he couldn't even get past all these walls that Team Liquid are putting up.
And I think that is the right thing to do. I'll give kudos to Aurora for that, except for the fact that Light overstayed his welcome. He was in too deep. Now Liquid setting up the push, throwing out that echoes. Aurora are taking this very slowly. This is the right way to do it.
Okay, they might actually, or Aurora denied that tier 3 down bottom. Every wave is so far well taken care of by Aurora. They're not letting their base turrets down. And Team Liquid Philippines, I'm liking how they're really respecting Aurora's defense capabilities. Because I think the threat of a glorious pathway slowing you down is still there either way. Once you overcommit, you don't have your AOG to get out anymore, then there are still chances for Aurora to punish you.
Yep. And Liquid's time ain't exactly running out. You saw how hard that arrow scales. Dominkai caught one randomly down bottom. It was half his health plus the tick damage from the Impure Rage. And that's what a 10,000 gold deal will do to you at 15.5 minutes. What else are they picking up? Oh my, he's just 3 items in.
Oh, and the Divine Glaive.
The chef is cooking with half a kitchen right now.
Yeah, he only needs 1 more item.
There it is.
Compared to Yue, who needs 2 more.
Oh, well, he was on his way to Holy Crystal.
Yeah, that's also...
Should make a
thing.
difference.
So you might, or you should be feeling the damage, especially if JP doesn't catch it, because I think he's looking to catch every single one of them. Like all those Star Shatters, even those bullets that come in from Dominkai. Oh, but speaking of full builds, Dominkai, I think he should be really ready to fight now. He already completed his item builds, locking in his last item, which is the Sea Halberd.
Yep. So all this healing from Sandberg, from JP, the shields that OHIP generates through Only Fast, should slowly be worked on. But again, this is the nature of their lineup. They need setup. They need light to stun the right target.
Yeah.
They need the echoes to hit at least 2 or 3. And then that's how these bullets from Dominkai will make a difference. And not to even mention his stacks, right?
Yeah.
I don't think his energy is in a place where he's comfortable. He hasn't had the best early to mid-game. Now that we enter the late game with this Lord spawning in the lower quarter, we'll see if Aurora can do both those things. Set up for their team fight and take care of the map.
Yeah, if Team Liquid even would let them find that opening, because I think they're so good at splitting the map too, just because they have a Joe in the goal. So you could see how OHEB's just consistently trying to manage the waves, not necessarily putting himself alongside the other members of Liquid, so that Aurora could see and have full information as to where everyone is. But OHEB finds the way of the Dragon on Demon Kite, just kicking him away.
Oh my
Not
God.
the best angle though. Edward jumping in, gets revealed by the Echo as well. But Light, will he survive this? He gets to survive with the glorious pathway.
Light lives, and Aurora pull out so much from Liquid. They spent a good amount of their ults, and of course a couple of battle spells, while Aurora only use up their ults, and Light's revitalized. Look at this, Carl D this whole time was playing with the Lord. Now it's at a 10th of its health. I think Liquid are gonna secure.
Yep, OHEB knows where Demon Kite is. Demon Kite's up top, but without a flicker, OHEB couldn't chase. But that was such a bold move from OHEB. The one that we saw in mid, where he just decided to commit his ultimate onto a Demon Kite who was surrounded by other members of Aurora.
Yep, and again, he can get away with it. Look at his items. It's not exactly just pure assassination. He has the warrior boots, he has the breastplate, so he has extra resilience to be able to use his dashes to get out. Liquid got away from what could have been Aurora's possible clapback while securing the Lord along the way. Bottom lane, say goodbye.
Was that just the single arrow from Carl that damaged Doming Kite to almost half. Oh, but look at the damage from the Star Shutter.
Ow!
You gotta respect Yue at this point too.
Bring it up looking at Sanji. What are you talking about? I think the arrow hurts more than the shatter at this point.
You cannot catch the arrows if you're Doming or you're Yue. Let Light do it. Let maybe even Edward do it, because he has an ability to just immune himself from those stuns and not get caught. But I think if earlier Team Liquid Philippines had a bit more room to let Aurora defend, it's becoming a bit scarier this time that Yue and Doming Kite have all their items and damage locked in.
Yep, not to mention, even Demon Kite is just but 1,000 or so away from fully building his final item. I would assume that this is a Blade of Despair. So that means Aurora is in fighting form. If we do get to that point, which I'm guessing is what, the 21-minute mark? So just in time for this final Lord, which again, I'm not counting on Aurora will get. Because look at the map, something that we haven't really been talking about much. Liquid structures are untouched.
Oh yeah.
Not a single turret. It's that bad.
And even the placements of the arrows, and every single member of Liquid, honestly, because Oheb's always opposite where the others are. Sanji, the way he just places all these arrows in areas where Aurora could just walk through, so they always have an idea of where they could potentially be approaching the next objective. It makes it so hard for Aurora, who, based on their lineup, just naturally need to walk towards wherever they want to go.
Oh my god, they catch two!
Oh, it's a flicker from Sanji, but a failed attempt to assassinate Doming Kite. A pick-off just in time for Aurora.
Overextension from the Lone Stallion. Not in a while has a nickname been so ironically perfect. Sanji was left out to cook. He flickered in for that.
I think that's not the kind of Lone Stallion play we're used to seeing.
Not like this. He's not here for the Lord.
He's not gonna be there. Okay, Sanford picking up the Oracle, but still they're one member down. Oheb, does he want to join this?
This is the best shape for Aurora to actually go for this major objective, but they have to keep eyes on the Filipino sniper. He might get away with this split push, the rat strat.
He's actually forcing a reaction. Who's gonna work and deal with the waves?
You know what?
Edward?
I think it's worse than what we think. It might not be a split push. He might actually intercept whoever goes to defend. Oheb makes himself known, visible. Lord being pulled in by Carl. Lord at an 1/8 of its health.
Yep, they denied Aurora from potentially blitzing the Lord. Now Carl's holding it, maybe catching the Star Shutters and even the Thorn Grows, but the damage has been too much. Phantom Execution already committed, and the AOG is used as well.
All right, Light holds the Pixel Brush away from the Apex Predator. Doming Kite pulling in.
Oh, Demon Kite's very low. He wanted to recall, but Sanford just keeps checking the brushes. And now it might be Light. That's the target. Oheb, just in time, stunning Light, taking him down, and Carl TZ takes the Lord.
Baby Cakes doing work. Looping Aurora, round and round. Defend down bottom, take the Lord. Defend the base. Steal this objective, and Aurora couldn't make a decision. Liquid score their third major objective.
What was the thought process of Oheb during the entire time? I thought he'd be a bit more pressured to join because they lost one member, but he just stayed down bottom, pushed the waves, and made Aurora let go of the objective.
I think all the more he had to be as annoying. He had to be that much bigger of a menace to influence Aurora's decision-making and to muddle their thought process. Because, look, Sanji's missing. I have to make up for both fighting with the Lord and this push down bottom. I'll do both.
Yep. Oh, does this arrow land on someone? Doming Kite, fortunately, gets to dodge it, but that's a good seal. Astral Echo revealing multiple members. Phantom Execution in. Demon Kite briefly gets taunted, but is this enough time for Aurora? The deal with the Lord! Edward jumping in, stunning multiple members. Demon Kite just waiting for Carl, and they take him down first. Sanford could only do so much when he's left alone. Oheb and Sanji have to run away, but he gets caught by the Star Shutter. Immortality won't be popped, but they have to let go of Sanford.
Massive predictions from members of Aurora, considering 2 free kills for Aurora, kicking Liquid out of their base.
Sanford and Carl are nowhere to be found.
Not for about 40 seconds.
And they might just go for this one-way push to take the most that they can after Liquid's turrets being untouchable for how many minutes now?
These three can't defend from the 5 on Aurora. Look at Oheb from the back line. What's the Filipino sniper gonna do? AOG!
AOG from JP, but they get to burst him down. That's the immortality already popped. Does JP get away with this? It's a no!
Oheb still hiding. Oheb, what's the plan? Star Shatter throw. Now Domikite!
Oh! Was that the way of the dragon dodged?
Yes, it was!
In a split second, Demon Kite got to dodge!
I could have sworn Oheb was gonna go straight for Doming, but instead it's Demon Kite who flushes him out of the brush. No one taken out from Aurora in their attempt to go straight down mid. Lord spawned. Aurora doing a little bit of homework, cleaning up their base as Sanji spots Domikite. The Domikite T40.
Still not over it. How do you dodge a Way of the Dragon that was committed to you while he was inside the bush? But Sanji trying to look for targets here. Demon Kite holding the Lord.
Phantom execution, spent in, Glory's pathway.
Oh, Sanford now is the target. He gets to use the final slash, but he doesn't survive for long. Now Aurora gain access to Carl. What can Sanji and Oheb do?
Oheb coming in! Demon Kite dashes through!
But he gets stunned by light, and he doesn't get to do his full combo. He's just trying to escape, but Demon Kite finds Sanji instead.
The chef gets cooked. It's a 3-man coalition from Liquid. Aurora hunting Carl down!
Oh! And with the flicker Star Shutter combo, the GOAT is taken down.
Yue doesn't miss Lord to Aurora.
As if the entire 20 minutes weren't in favor of Liquid. Aurora with such a massive clapback, but Oheb in an attempt to find a trade pops the immortality of Domikite, but that's all he can do.
Daddy JP doing his darndest to get something out of the exchange. Takes out Domikite, but it's too late.
He's left alone, and with no one from Liquid to defend, this 26-minute game ends in the hands of Aurora.
The Northern Lights first to the board. Game 1 goes to Aurora.
My goodness.
That was just game 1. We're here for the long haul. A best of 5. Aurora pulled that one from out of nowhere. Liquid have to go back to the drawing board, figure out where they all went wrong. Let's throw over to Midnight and Athena.
If there is one team that you would count on to getting a comeback onto game, that's going to be Aurora.
13,000 gold lead in favor of TLPH, but Aurora shuts it off. And they claim this game. Edward again in the Lapo, Yue with the snipes, and Doming being so hard to kill. There you go.
Clouds.
I think I am so lucky today. I don't know. I'm feeling lucky.
You are.
Are you feeling lucky?
I do feel lucky. I'm with you here on the English test.
Okay.
And let's see if your predictions will reflect also here on their game 2 drafting phase still. The Harik and CC ban here.
Wait.
And straightforward backshot approach. And then Yuzong and Lancelot ban here for Aurora Midnight.
Is this Aurora giving TLPH the Yisun Shin?
Like it's I dare you.
Yeah, it's both the Yisun Shin as well as the 1-1. First time this happened, TLPH won with 1-1 on Oheb. I think it was a match against Onyx Philippines. So Aurora, they have a lot of things to consider here. Yisun Shin, 1-1, and then there's also the Zhu Shin. The TLPH has not shied away from taking first.
Yep, and now they're actually baiting out the Jushin pick here for TLPH. They could actually go for an Arlot still, a first prior pick here for TLPH, but it's going to be here for Sanji. Quick predictions here, Midnight.
Farsa, maybe Farsa or Kimmy, and then potentially Gatot or Grok for light. I don't mind the honestly. I don't mind the Grok against Zushin. because you are able to sort of immune and even counter the Zushin initiation, because if you trap the Zushin, she's forced to use the Crimson Beacon because she has to dodge the Tectonic Charge.
Or might as well get the Lapu again here for Edward.
That too.
If you want. And a Lapu is very viable option in terms of flying cloud statistics, but sorry, I don't have the papers. But moving forward here, the Gatot Kacha would be a nice deny pick also if you're on the side of Aurora. But let's see, as I'm hearing it, it's going to be an Arlot and Ranger here. So it's an XP and a hero for Domingkite. So it's a change of scenery and prioritization. Midnight, they realized that they would want Domingkite on a more comfortable positioning in terms of drafting phase than the Alice and Hayabusa for TLPH.
I was worried about this. TLPH, they're comfortable playing with the Hayabusa. Carl Tz has shown himself to be a very good Hayabusa player in MSC. And then now they find themselves in an Alice situation where there's no Yuzong. They see the enemy XP laner. It's just an Arlet. Sanford gets to pick the Alice on first phase. So now Aurora, what do you answer this with? Do you go for Fredrin on Demon Kite, considering that it is a good combo with the Arlet, but there is an Alice on the table, so I don't know.
Even I was actually going to say Doming Light. I'm combining their IGN right now.
Okay, Fredrin.
Okay. You've mentioned a Fredrin, but it's about Onyx Philippines. How is it for Demon Kite getting a utility jungler?
I'm not a big fan of this Fredrin pick. Yes, it is an Arlet and Fredrin combo, but you are up against Zushin and Alice, two heroes that enjoy playing against Fredrin. Aurora, they have to buff this lineup up. They have to have huge damage on Mage or, well, Roam. I don't think they would go for that though, but Kimmy and Farsa is still available, so I think Aurora might want to gun for a Red 4 Farsa, but TLPH, they will have the opportunity to take it away.
Thank you so much, and now we have the most picked heroes for Flying Cloud. So there is the Lapu for the top 5.
Yeah.
And still on
None of them here, by the way. None of them here.
None of them here. But still, none of a 1-1 for game number 2 and the crowd.
Okay, yeah, that's a good ban.
You mentioned this.
Yeah, that's a good ban. That's a good roam for Aurora. That could have been a good roam for Aurora for the same reasons that we've said they needed damage, and also it supplements the the idea of being able to counter the Zushin while also attempting for the Red 4 bait. Because what TLPH could have done was give them Red 4 possibility of the Grok. If they don't take it, TLPH runs away with an Alice Grok combo, but they don't have the opportunity to risk it, so they needed to take it away.
That's too much of a giveaway if ever they don't ban the Grok. And for sure, Master of the Basics have already foreseen that. And now for our Red 4, or rather, last ban here for TLPH and a possible Red 4 for Aurora. It's going to be in the mid laner.
Oh, okay.
And
interesting.
An interesting ban of a Franco as well here for TLPH.
I think they trust Sanford enough to deal with the Farsa if ever it does show up. Even the Kimmy, honestly, for Yue. Kimmy, Sicilian, Farsa, those three are good picks.
Ooh.
You don't Eve here. Okay, they go for Gatot, so they save the they save the best for last. They don't have to because they had to rush the Gatot because TLPH could have taken it away. But even then, I think you could run this lineup with a Hylos for TLPH on JP, even the chip, honestly.
For me, for TLPH, if they do pick the chick and it's a Flying Cloud, to be honest, there are just not much differences. So it's more familiarity in terms of where.
Yeah, it's more about the draft.
Where,
than the map.
And the mechanic as well, and the respo when it comes to
Hylos.
Hylos, and then the Moscow here for OHAB.
What? I mean, late game, and it's also OHAB. So Moscow, good matchup against both the Granger, decent against the Arlet, but I swear this would have been a good carry game, honestly, for OHAB, but they go with the Moscow and then the Kimmy for you. I am feeling lucky today. Matter of fact, 1-1, let's go.
I think it's your day. It's your lucky day.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
Yeah, let's see if Aurora will also have a lucky day as they lock in the Kimmy mid lane here for Yue. Interesting choice as well here for the Moscow for OHAB, but it's because it's OHAB.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
I would have preferred, honestly, the carry, because I think the Moscow is much too slow. because the carry would have been useful mid-game. OHEB, he has to farm till late. And Aurora, they do have early game comp, so there is a window where Aurora could actually punish TLPH with this gritty lineup.
Let's see if the streak will continue here for Aurora Gaming. As we move on forward for our game number 2 upper bracket finals. TLPH still missing a point. Let's head on over to the land of the Endcasters. It's your time.
And I don't think there was enough time between game 1 and now to recover. We just came from a 26-minute slobber knocker. Leo and Breda bringing you the second game in this best-of-5 series. Team Liquid Philippines looking to recover against Aurora.
This was a surprising draft we're seeing from Team Liquid, mainly because it's a bit too obvious that they're trying to maybe play for the late game. And stats show that they don't really perform that well when we're past the 18-minute mark.
This was an in-depth discussion you had with Hans in the panel over yesterday's matches. But also, just to juxtapose the thesis on Midnight's draft. Oh my God, you went.
Okay.
I think Aurora's draft, if we're gonna revert to something closer to pre-Project Next, looks better. Because I'm surprised that this Gatot Gacha went all the way through the second phase without anyone banning it.
That's true. It's a mixture of them prioritizing the picks they really want to deny first, taking away the Arlot even from Sanford in the first phase of the draft, but it's not like they weren't able to prevent the Alice from coming into play. But then again, it just adds to how farm heavy Team Liquid Philippines and their composition is overall. So I don't think we'll be seeing them as aggressive to start things off, but at least they have a lot of ways to just deal with the macro and prolong the game as needed. But hold on, if it's about aggression we're talking about, I think Carl TZ wants to show us just that. Light looking to be the target here, and Ogi Shadow Kill committed just to take first blood.
That was a 3v2 fight that Demon Kite had to walk all the way through, and he just did not make it in time. That's just kind of the cons you have to live with if you have a Fredrin. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the Appraiser make his way into a game.
Yeah, and it's understandable if you're Aurora that you get to extend that much. You have a Kimmy on your side, and the mid lane supposedly really favors whoever has the Kimmy in their lineup. But it seems like Team Liquid might not get to contest this.
Carl soloing a small camp, and Light could not stop him. I got his eyes at the minimap.
So, despite all that, Light still has his eyes on Carl TZ, not exactly letting go of where this, I'd say, all over the map Hayabusa is.
Yeah.
Because even just now, before that first blood, he already showed us how aggressive he wants to play this game. Maybe even being one of the main players to play aggressive in this entire lineup that we're seeing from Team Liquid.
That's right, Carl TZ's Hayabusa is a thing of beauty. If you talk about his best heroes in Season 16, I'd say Lancelot, Shin, and then this Hayabusa action breaking out in mid.
Oh, Throne of Ruin for Sanford, catching 3, SOD also landing, but the owner joins this. Edward doesn't land the final slash, but the AOG's
Bang!
Appraiser's Wrath. Sanford gets taken down, JP might be next. There's just so much hold from Aurora.
The Alice is just a sexier Uranus.
Yes.
Emphasis on Uranus. At the end of the day, no matter how sustainable you are, after your Throne of Ruin,
Oh, the perfect vengeance to evade and cancel out the Ogi Shadow Kill. It's not a flicker, but it acts the same way. Hold on, OHEB!
Close call on 2 different fronts of the map. Back to what I was saying, at the end of the day, after that Throne of Ruin, you're still just a sustainable, annoying XP laner.
That's about it. You stand in front of everyone, you try to annoy them, but if they have enough damage, then what do you do next? Oh my goodness! 3-man stun!
The 3-time MPL champion stops the forward momentum of 3-hero Dominikai!
Oh, but what OHEB doesn't know is that there are 3 members of Aurora waiting for him! I don't know if it was just perfectly timed or predicted by Aurora, but that was painful to watch.
Call it a sting operation. They knew that OHEB had this killer instinct in him, and he saw a lone Granger, but he did see the other 2 members waiting in the wings. It looks like Aurora are going to be scoring their second turtle. Sanford trying to grab one. pull a fast one over Aurora. Not gonna happen. They're up about 1,000 and change.
Yep. This is expected from
Oh!
the lineup. Hold on. Edward still wanting to go in for the fight from Sin Beacon already used. JP gets to escape with the glorious pathway. But it's been a very aggressive 4 minutes. Just 4 minutes so far for Aurora. And what does Oheb do? He just has to walk away.
He does his best, Brigida. He does his best. Aurora have stepped on his neck and stopped him from farming. The first 5 minutes has been hell for this Moskov. Looking at the items and of course what that translates to in economy. He's down about 1,500 away from Dominkite.
Could have been more if he didn't use his SOD just to get that gold card that was nearly denied of him, or nearly denied from him, just because of how well Aurora's been controlling the gold lane. And this has been a trend so far. This is expected considering TLPH's lineup. But how do they show us the changes once they don't get the early game? Because time and time again, that's what we've been constantly pointing out as their requirement to win the game, to get to do the Liquid Stampede. But this is something they walked into. They drafted this way. They expected this to happen.
You know what? In the playoffs, anything can happen. Aurora can even win on Flying Clouds. That's what this map is all about. And they do find Sanford to the bottom lane.
Can't even use the cleave. Throne of Ruin is all he can do, but does he have enough sustain?
Oh!
Oh! Barely tries to survive, and that's another Piercer stack picked up by Dominkite. Carl Easy versus Edward. It's a 1v1, but
What?
Final Slash still makes it. Fortunately, the other members of Team Liquid are there, but that was a close call.
All right, 3 dudes from Liquid, no problem. 4, that's where he draws the line. A little too much for Mr. Consistent to deal with, but what this does is open up the lower quarter of the map where the Turtles spawn. 3 for 3, Aurora 100% on Turtle take rates.
Look at how US just defending this turret. Carl TZ has to escape.
Oh,
Watch out. Oh, he walks away, but does not escape death. Light and Yue take down Carl TZ.
The GOAT got tunnel vision. He really wanted to push in. Did not have enough backup. Down bottom, Demon Kite has 2 on him. This is what you can do with a utility jungler. You're able to really put your foot down and say, the rest of you guys do that, and hold on. That's why it's a macro-centric hero. Oh my God, JP!
That's the tankiest member of Team Liquid right now. But Aurora, without hesitation, committing the Final Slash. That's how confident they are at this point. Demon Kite, though, he does not walk away from that.
It's a little too much to expect to survive all that, but again, Aurora, sleight of hand. You're looking at the right hand, the left is already committing a crime. They pushed into here to up top. As I was saying, if you're a utility jungler, you can do these kinds of things. One of those things is sacrifice yourself because you're less of a asset to your team, so you can afford to die. Second is you can hold down fights so much longer. Carl Deasy, when he died in the top lane, there was no business for him doing that. Not for that long. So Aurora, they're still on point here, on course. 4,000 gold up, 8 minutes in.
This time it's Aurora who's had their turrets untouched for the entire past 8 minutes of the game. Team Liquid Philippines are struggling. They might be waiting for one team fight that they get to win, and it's from that where they just pivot and try to convert into objectives, because the way it's looking right now, could they even split up? Like, I know that's something Oheb would want to do, but based on how Aurora's been rotating, they're not making it easy for the Moskov.
I think they can. They just have to be very specific about it. Like now, see this? It's clear where Aurora is. They show themselves on the map. It helps that the Lord is going to be a beacon, a magnet for TLPH to try and consider where they're coming from. But look, we're still looking at the maybe #2 best hero to steal Lords with. That's a high boost. Oh, Edward stepped in.
Behind Edward, Final Slash already committed Throne of Ruin. Might just stun 3. Oh! Dominkite gets taken down by Sanji, but before he does, JP gets taken down as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, and Oheb, that's what you were talking about. So he finally gets to push the waves.
And it's also very fortunate that Liquid found Dominkite. If it was anyone else that died, maybe even Edward or Demonkite, that would have been okay. Aurora would have forced the issue, but no, it was Dominkite. It was their main damage source.
It was just unfortunate that he was right behind that wall, and once he flickered, he found himself right beside the Lord and in front of Sanji's Crimson Beacon. So that was a very awkward position to be in if you were Dominkite, but they also probably didn't expect that there were other members of Liquid who could come in from the mid lane, because they were probably expecting everyone to just hold those brushes down bottom close to the back of the wall where the Lord is. So now it's a second chance for Aurora to potentially take this.
I think it was premeditated. Liquid really cordoned off Aurora's exit to compromise Dominkite's positioning, and then in turn they killed him. That was really good for Liquid. Now, Dominkite finds that taunt. Lord at about half health.
That was a knockup from the Lord. Edward working on Sanji though, but Dominkite goes down. OM joining the fight as well. This Lord is going into the hands of Liquid. Carl will get traded, however, and they're trying to chase after Liquid, but all they want to do is walk away.
Liquid definitely winning out on that trade. They pick off Dominkite, take the Lord, and everything else is extra. Collateral damage, Carl Teasy is, but it's worth it. Aurora did not see this angle coming. I didn't see this angle coming. I think Liquid just worked their way into closing this gap. 4,000 gold cut down to just 1.
I think it was just normal movement from a Fredrin, from a utility jungle.
It was the right thing.
You switch targets, you stand in front of everyone. But where did the damage even come from for them to burst him down that much? Or I also think the Lord knockup had something to do with it, because it was an unexpected timing of Lord knockups that helped Liquid try and be a bit more aggressive. And that's where Dominkite found himself bursted down.
Yeah, something tells me Sanji sitting with 2 stacks on his Skypiercer, maybe 3 stacks. I've lost track of where exactly to count from. Made that death on Dominkite, that kill on Dominkite so much more possible, so much more faster. And the Appraiser's Wrath almost made no difference.
We couldn't even feel it. I mean, JP was already expecting to receive majority of the damage from the Appraiser's Wrath, but at this point, that's what we want to see from JP. That he can just confidently stand in front of these members, of these annoying heroes of Aurora, so Liquid can know where to position themselves, and finally, after trying to be a bit more careful for so long, they get to take away some turrets from themselves.
Oh man, the map has equalized, literally 2 for 2. Aurora now just have barely 1,000 gold up over Liquid. Where did this go wrong? It's not like Yu is not in the right position to deal damage. Dominkite only died once. Dominkite died twice. One of them was kind of warranted. So it's just Liquid finding their groove. Looking at the items now, it is a Swift Trinity for Oheb. Carl Teasy also has 3 strong, hard-hitting items. And Sanford, I think Sanford's last death might have been his actual last, because he's on his way to a full Cursed Hell. Once he builds that Winter Crown, I don't think we're gonna ever see him die again.
Yeah. Maybe this is where a bit too much attention on caging the Predator starts to backfire.
Because it's just not worth it. It takes too much time.
And I don't think, like, maybe Sanford even wants you to pay so much attention to him at this point.
Yes.
Majority of the damage, of the disruption, will come from him, yes, but not the damage. And he's not the guy who needs to be there until the very end of the team fight.
Oh yeah.
So maybe essentially kind of similar to the Fredrin.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's got to be Oheb, it's got to be Carl. Sanji is the finisher. The fact that Sanford is so annoying and could impact a team fight so much from the XP lane on this Alice is that game changer. So Aurora, how do they react? Maybe don't pay attention to Sanford as much. Like, as much as you can avoid the Throne of Ruin, that's easier said than done.
Because either way, he's gonna show up anyway. He is definitely gonna use that Throne of Ruin and try to position himself in front of as much people as he can. So he will voluntarily walk up to you, and you don't need to work so hard to do that, but where are they trying to come from this time?
Look at the angle that Sanford's coming through. Edward spots him. Glorious pathway.
JP already low. Edward using the final slash, but Sanford stuns so much. It's you and Dominkite now very low. Dominkite looking at the next target. Carl Teasy with a double Ogi Shadow kill now, trying to go for Doming. Fortunately has a dash, but that's 3 members already taken down.
Easier said than done, isn't even the start of it. Sanford almost single-handedly helped Liquid win that fight. 3 for none, the Throne of Ruin, everyone on a trampoline. Aurora have to defend.
What do we say about Sanford just walking up to everyone and making it easy? And now they're trying to just take as much as they can. Dominkite defending. Oh, the Wind of Nature already committed. Sanford blocking the bullets. But that was such a great defense from Dominkite too.
Aurora lose 1 inhibitor. Almost lost mid. They're gonna lose their purple buff. Liquid are up 3,000 gold. Oh my lord, how do you stop Sanford? It's not like he even built his winner crown. He bring it up, you said it right. You said it best. He just walked up and said, what are you gonna do about it? Now, I hate to cry over spilled milk, but did Aurora not respect Liquid's propensity for crowd control? Not a single Purify.
Yeah, I guess there was a bit too much attention on JP as well. It looked like JP was
Or on Carl.
definitely going down in that instant, but who would have thought? Again, even we were surprised to see Sanford holding that bush. And now he just comes in with the flicker and we might see another one. But they'll be a bit more patient this time because Aurora already takes care of the Lord.
They're still breathing, they're still in this. Glorious pathway by Daddy JP. Liquid looking to scare Aurora away from defending. They do keep that inhibitor up top and the base intact.
Okay. Aurora still in this game. We're looking like we're about to approach another 20-minute game, honestly, if
Looks like it.
Aurora are able to still hold this a bit longer. But I think there's not much in terms of the damage dealers if we're looking at gold. Because Sanji, Yue, Oheb, and Dominkite, there's not even 1,000 gold difference existing between these
Yeah,
heroes.
no, it's not about a difference in firepower. It really is everything else that goes with it. It's the garnish, the meat, the protein is sound. It's tasty. But what else do you partner it with? Let's watch that sequence once again. Look at Sanford. I don't think it was enough that Edward was there to check him in. All right, 40 flickered in. He didn't walk up. He gleamed, flickered in, and I think that scared the bejesus out of Aurora.
Yeah, and he came from the left mid-bush at that.
Yep, it was an ankle breaker. He came from the left, gleamed to the right, and then flickered again to the left.
All the while, Aurora probably thought they had everything under control.
Nah, not this Predator.
Nah.
Not the Apex Predator, Sanford. Okay, so they have 2 anti-heals, right? They have the Sea Halberd on Doming. They have the Glowing Wand on Yue. Is that enough? JP, oh my god, trying to split up Aurora.
Hold on, he's in the middle of 4, but Sanford once again finding Yue, forces the flicker as well, but Edward and Demonkite doing all the zoning. The Cyclone Eye actually did not help Aurora there. Sanji's unstoppable right now.
Wise is watching from home. He knows how much that hurts. Dominkite backing up, almost gets choked out by Sanji.
There's another Lantern Flare, Light trying to walk away, but there's another knockup play. A monster kill for the Lone Stallion, Dominkite and Yue. Can they defend this? Oheb doesn't care. The Cavalry will equalize the series.
Now we have a ball game. 1-1. Liquid on the board. Bring it on, they deny us the 20-plus minute slobber knocker.
They did.
Liquid came to play.
That you're like nurturing too much, or you're protecting Dominkite so much, and now for TLPH, it's up to them to try and get the deny, or Aurora gets a hero as early as an Arla tier for Edward.
They were trying to trap TLPH into thinking that they're gonna get the Lancelot. So yeah, first pick Granger, because they don't want the Granger going over to the side of TLPH. But this does favor TLPH because we just came from a game where both Yisun Shin and the Lancelot was off the table. So now TLPH, they get to pick whether they take the Fredrin or they take the Hayabusa. I think the Hayabusa is the safer route because I don't think you go Fred Arla tier because there's still the Phobius on the side of Aurora.
I do agree with you with the Hayabusa pick, considering that this is a Ranger and just give the Fredrin to Demonkite if you're TLPH, but if you're Aurora, might as well just don't pick Diabusa. We want that for Demon Kai.
Yeah.
And a hero for Sanford, I believe,
Haya, Alice?
will be a perfect opportunity. But Hayabusa and Lunox
see.
Midnight,
I think the idea is you can't go Uranus, you can't even go Alice on the side
right.
of Aurora. This is smart from TLPH. So I think for Edward, you go Lapu or Arlet, but the problem is you set up such good heroes for Sanford that he gets to decide whether he wants Alice or Phovius on Red 3.
TLPH being consistent onto attacking Mr. Consistent here for Aurora.
Such a good draft, honestly.
You cannot just ban out heroes here for Sanford if you're Aurora. You have to consider it with this first pick, Lunox, that you have to be capable onto being buffed up and buffed up Fredrin and get that catcher here for Aurora.
Yeah, Athena, he gets to pick Alice again for Sanford. He might go Lapu, honestly, but
Lapu
there's
Alice.
no downside in taking the Alice now because it's still the same thing. That you get Alice now, you remove some of the counters, and then Aurora's left with nothing.
Yeah.
So you go Alice, and now they remove Lapu, they remove... There's no Yuzong anymore.
Yeah.
So just the Lapu, honestly.
It makes it easier to draft if you're TLPH.
Yes.
And Sanford is like, okay, don't mind if I do.
Okay, they still remove the Arlet. They respect the Arlet Edward.
Arlet Edward making miracle plays with the finals. Vengeance, actually. The Vengeance is
The Vengeance plays, yeah.
the cream of the crop here for Aurora. And now, there are certain heroes like the Lapu still viable, but in my opinion, you could just go for the last pick here for Edward and look at what the Red 4 will be for TLPH.
Yeah, they have to sniff it out. But for Aurora, I think Kimmy still works here. Kimmy, Farsa. I don't see any other heroes for Edward though. Cho being removed, I think just to limit the the flex factor on the gold. Oh,
Okay, nice.
Mad respect to
Okay.
Sicilian. That guy hasn't lost in Sicilian, by the way.
That is a nice see-through here for Coach RC. And you're right, being it win streak here.
Wait. I want to see Oheb Gold Lane Lapu. I want to see Oheb Gold Lane Lapu. I've seen this in one of his live streams, by the way. And I think that's the reason why they removed the Arlet and they didn't care about the Lapu because they wanted to pick it gold.
Will they take that as a challenge? Will they grab that opportunity?
Because what do you counter it with? You can't go Esme. You can't go Uranus. There's a Lunox on TLPH.
Different scenarios running through our minds right now. But even for Aurora, different heroes that are running on their minds to ban out. Still the Khalid removed here for game number 3.
All right, I want to see it. Oh, give me
Give it to
Lapu.
him.
Give me Lapu. No!
Oh, okay.
Okay, at least it wins both matchups.
Okay, it's the best of both worlds
Yeah.
for the CC.
Yeah.
Deny, priority, and then somewhat of a flex still here
Yeah.
for TLPH.
Because the thing is, Aurora, if they want to get Lapu here, I think you put the CC on XP and then you put Alice on gold. But for Aurora, I think best pick here is honestly Uranus or Esme.
But still,
Because they didn't go Lapu.
you're going to have a hard time, but it's the reality. You have to face it, right?
You kind of have to like address the elephant in the room. You're gonna melt to the Lunox. But the thing about TL's lineup is that they don't have a hard lockdown. So that's like, the benefit of having the Esme and the Uranus. They're forced to get the hard lockdown. But they go for the Lapu. I still don't like the Eve though. Yeah, sure, it's up against the CC and the Alice, but this upcoming last pick from TLPH might just ruin everything for Aurora. Because honestly, Hylas is still good here.
Considering it's also the dangerous grass,
Yeah.
for Eve, it's also one of the heroes that I find it having a hard time when it comes to multiple ganks. Because for an Eve, all you have is the flicker,
Yeah.
then the ultimate for the slide shield. But after that, you're so vulnerable to the attacks.
Yeah.
But they've gauged the situation Midnight, and maybe they found
Hylos,
more
yeah.
pros here for Aurora. And then the Hylos for Daddy JP. Gold lane CC here for Oheb.
It's such a good draft for both sides, honestly, even though I don't like the idea of the Eve. The thing is, Yu is on the Eve, so he's gonna make this work. But
He has to.
This draft from TLPH just allows Carl TZ to go wild, honestly.
And looking at their index as well,
Yeah, it's all TL.
it's all about TLPH. Yes, you have card controls for Aurora.
Yeah.
But some of this might be somewhat of a disadvantage.
Yeah, it looks like the same game as game number 2, but TL has way scarier team fights in game number 3.
Same, but different scenarios here for TLPH and Aurora. Lock and loaded for our draft. Let's head on over for our game number 3. Who will get another point? Casters, it's your time.
You know what? I agree with Midnight and Athena. In addition to the draft, the way Liquid played in game 2 definitely dictates the pace. They have the momentum going into game number 3.
And I also have to say that I'm
Legends.
really feeling how much Coach RC wants to get his revenge back. He's been so commendable in terms of drafting for how many games in a row now. It was a bit surprising to see the Lunox immediately come in, but for the past few games, it's been such a high priority. But for Sanji to go this route, I'm hoping this is still signature aggressive Sanji, but that's a bit more balanced compared to game number 2.
I think it's signature aggressive everything for Liquid. Looking at the early game start, Rora posting up towards that Little Wanderer, stopping a majority of Liquid from crossing over. Even this XP Crab coin will be contested very hardly. And JP coming in, looking for a sneaky pull. Can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, it is an undefeated Lunox in the hands of the chef, Lone Stallion Sanji.
Yep, but it seems like they're really trying to make things a bit harder for Sanji. Yue on the Eve clearly has the range advantage. And they're probably gonna stay like this for a while.
That's right. More on Rora's draft before any more action breaks out. It's a very M4 looking draft. Like, look at it. Look at it. These heroes are old school.
Yeah. Just now we had this, or I was asking you about, what was Sansan looking like again back in M4? Because now Sanford, it seems like the heroes are becoming a bit similar to that, but Sanji's been sticking with a very particular hero pool. He's been using less, I think, even compared to last season. So there are just certain options on the board for Sanji.
Yeah, if you ask me if this version of Liquid looks close to how they looked when they won in Jakarta in M4 a few years back, it's very different now. They've definitely grown. The turtle already very low.
Shadow kill, going to ruin just in time, but it's still not enough for Carl to steal away the objective.
Oh!
Now Sanford has to go down.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Rora learned. Not like that, 4D, not again. He spent everything. The flicker, the Throne of Ruin, did not work this time against Aurora. Not so fast, RWM!
And the AOG to try and provide a bit more pressure. JP could not get out of that. So Aurora have been using so much, but OM down bottom. Can he take down Dominkite? It's not going to be enough. Vengeance committed too, but Doming survives.
That is elementary Mlbb. When a vengeance is popped, you just stop.
Stop.
Hands off.
Move away.
No means no.
Don't attack.
Don't
Sanji.
do it. Ah!
Oh, okay.
Synchronized shrieks.
Yes, he is not having a good time.
Next level synergy. Across the map, they're not done!
Sanford, Gleam gets to keep him safe, but Carl cannot farm in peace. Demon Kite's in his jungle. He even might steal away this orange buff. Look at how Light's blocking everyone else. JP and Sanford trying to help him, but can he take it this time? He doesn't have the retribution.
Nor does Carl.
They push him, or they push Demon Kite away.
That was a close call. If Demon Kite stayed there maybe for 2 or 3 more seconds, that retribution would have come off the cooldown and Rora would have committed Grand Theft Orange. Demon Kite the main culprit and the rest of them accessories of the crime. Looking at the rest of the map, the bottom lane I think is the closest thing you can say as a neutral lane for Liquid because everywhere else Rora's winning.
Yeah, I'm liking how Aurora are starting to put in so much respect to this Hayabusa of Carl Easy. Because even in the previous game, it's like this Hayabusa single-handedly tried to hold down the early game for that very farm-heavy lineup that they tried to go for.
Oh my god, the flicker to save him!
Oh my goodness, the curtain call. Is it going to be enough?
AOG!
Everything's there, but Dominkite under the turret will not fall.
Bring it up. That's still a good chunk of damage reduction. They changed a lot of things in Project Next, but not the gold lane turret shield damage reduction. Turtle now at a 1/5 of its health. I think Rora can easily secure.
Even when Light had to respond to what was happening down bottom, Edward and Demon Kite were more than enough to take this objective freely from Liquid, but there's another conceal play. Does Oheb sense that there's something going on?
Yep, he does. He had Daddy JB to check for him. Yue already made himself known, and then Light just flushed out those bushes. Aurora up by 3,000 gold, under 5 minutes. This is a great start for Aurora.
Yeah.
What happened in game 2, I think, woke up a beast in him.
I agree. Now they're using this utility jungler, this Fredrin, so aggressively. And just as I mentioned that, he's walking back towards Liquid's jungle.
Yep. That's something you can't do as an assassin.
That is... Oh! Thought Sanji was going to use the brilliance there.
Hold on. 2-lane push, top and bottom. The cavalry got a little cross-eyed, like they didn't know where to defend. That was free.
Is this the effect of just how good the pressure is from Aurora? That their jungler doesn't feel as free and that they are a bit more pressured to provide some assistance to Carl TZ?
I think, yeah, the answer is simply yes, because Liquid, look at this. They are a team fighting lineup, more now than ever. The other game they had on Moscow, so they could have split the map, but now they just really want to convert. They really want to win big and then take turrets. Without winning big, they can't take turrets.
Oh no, Carl!
Oh!
The energy eruption, the taunts from Demon Kite. Now they gain access to the purple buff. If Razor's Wrath is touched, but not the real world manipulation. JP gets stuck inside, but Oheb's just trying to do what he can. But they inevitably have to let go of that purple buff.
They stole away Carl TZ's buff, and they go straight for the turtle. Demon Kite closing off the entry to anything from Liquid. No contest even for this turret in mid.
Yeah, they really want to take it this time. This is the fastest we've seen both of these teams actually get objectives away for this entire series. Another turtle might go into the hands of Aurora. Never mind, I take it back. Carl TZ just pops in, steals it away. But do they want to fight? Throne of Ruin committed. Light will not pursue.
Bring It On, they did not respect the fact that Carl's retribution was off of cooldown and Demon Kite's was not. And I think it was correct for Aurora to do that, but they needed to clear the jungle first. They needed to make sure that there was no attempt. And Liquid, they rolled the dice, they flipped the coin. They dropped everything to be able to secure it. Now they're looking to punish. 5 gold, 5,000 gold still in the middle of them.
Oh, they're going for Sanford. Oheb will not show himself anymore. He cannot afford to show himself. Aurora making quick work of all the remaining turrets. Sanji goes in, but all that just to prevent any more damage.
See, this is Aurora just cracking that whip, reminding TLP that, hey, you're still down this much gold, all right? 5,000, 6,000. Just the gold laners alone, 2,000 between them. That's what Aurora needed to do. They needed to make sure that this lead would be all that mattered. And the fact that they did not check that little avenue, that little entry from Liquid side of the jungle to that turtle pit meant all the difference. So, you know, it's a final turtle. A little bit of mojo boost for the rest of the cavalry, all the fans here in Cuneta watching the blue side of the arena. Well, technically the red. Let's look at how Liquid can clap back, all right? Number one, stealing objectives. It's clear that Carl TZ has it in him. You got that dog to steal stuff, but are we waiting for Sanji to come online? Because Oheb, sure, is a gold laner, but he's a fighter gold laner. Is Sanji going to be the next in line to be that, you know, clean source of damage?
Yeah, I guess if it's Sanji we're talking about, he just needs to watch out for Demon Kite. Like, if he does go in, or maybe not just even Demon Kite, the real world's there, the Unbreakable's there. So positioning, as you would say to any Lunox user, is very, very crucial. They cannot just go in and make themselves vulnerable to Aurora, because that's going to be one of their main strengths. It's just blocking every single member who wants to dive in.
And that's why the Lone Stallion is keeping himself scarce. Look at where he's positioning himself. Very far away, hidden from Aurora. They'll never know where this Lunox bomb might come from. That's Sanji DD. Turtle at half health.
Yeah, but Yue's holding this brush too.
Lord, rather. Here we go.
Oh, now Sanji goes for Yue, but the damage doesn't seem to be enough. Edward jumps in with a Bravest Fighter as a response, but Light is holding Carl TZ down.
Oh!
Sanford touches the Appraiser's Wrath just barely, and Oheb goes in from behind. But for some reason, Carl is bursted down.
And Oheb goes as well. Where one baby cake goes, the other falls. It's a 2v1. UN Edward chasing him down.
Sanji tried. We saw it.
He did. And he was doing the right thing up until the rest of Liquid could not hold the line. Again, a huge gold diff. Items just were the main factor. Firepower. And that's why Light was able to push back 3 and delay the inevitable.
I think he even had to use his flicker there just to get close enough to Yue, which we might get to confirm in this instant replay. Which again, we will keep saying, oh, he didn't use that flicker. So it was just in this moment where he used it to find the right target.
The final reposition.
Oh, he got to take down Dominic, but the damage, even when I think that... Okay, maybe we talk about that later on. Demon Kite takes the Lord. Edward holding down 2 AOG from Light. But will this be enough? Throne of Ruin already committed. Carl TV's the first to fall.
Not like this, says Aurora. Not again. As Dominic Kite takes down 40 after taking Edward. It's a wipeout pending.
Vengeance committed, but does that keep him alive? It's a no! A wipeout by Aurora.
The blinding lights stumble into the Stallions, and the Stampede is quelled. A Lord and 5 kills over to Aurora.
Now they will definitely be clearing the outer turrets, possibly even the top lane turret, base turret of Team Liquid. And that's exactly where the Lord is approaching, but there are no Holy Shields left.
Even bottom lane still standing. About 40 seconds left for that to make it work. Make it worth it to protect. In Aurora, they know that this Lord won't stand for too long. Liquid are in the danger zone. They are in self-preservation mode right now.
I just gotta say, I can't recall the last time Carl TZ got his hands on his purple buff. And that's probably making things a lot more harder for Liquid at this point. Sanji just trying to defend this mid lane base turret. But they're struggling to do just that.
Liquid, again, the way that they've been so successful all throughout the later half of Season 16, even in the playoffs, is fighting in the paint. They like to really give it to their opponents and then, with conviction, dominate them. They convert. They don't steal. They don't try and go through technicalities and slip through the cracks. They convert. And they just haven't been able to. Again, one thing you mentioned is the purple buff. Honestly, if Carl DZ can't get his purple buff, that means he can't get to the rest of his jungle. That means he is so down on resources.
And what's scary is that even if he tries to just look for pickoffs and potentially trades across the map, Yue and Dominkite, I believe, have winter crowns. So even when there's a chance of a potential pickoff, that's just not gonna turn out good for Liquid.
Nothing. Shadow kills, forget about it. Brilliance into a Darkness Blast, forget about it. Hell, they've already learned Sanford's propensity for an ankle breaker Throne of Ruin. It worked in Game 2. They were able to steal a game from out of nowhere, a stampede through Aurora in an 18-minute bout, but not this time. Aurora are choking Liquid out of these major resources that they so badly need.
That was a quick adjustment from Aurora just after that game. They're no longer caught by surprise, by any Throne of Ruin, by any shadow kill, not even the quad shadows. They're able to time their reactions perfectly.
And I actually take it back. I stand corrected. It's not because of the lack of Purify. Liquid just went too hard and too fast. Aurora can actually play this way. Flicker their way out of that Throne of Ruin. Lord Dance began. Light with a conceal. Who's he looking for?
Carl TZ seems to be the target. Unbreakable land onto him. Edward is there, but he does not use the bravest fighter just yet.
Oh, look at Sanji and Sanford.
This is already enough to provide some zoning. Sanford decides to go in too, though, but Light can just AOG out of there. But he spots Sanji.
Edward commits the bravest fighter, Lord of the Eighth of its health.
Oh, now they're after Dominkite, forces out the Winter Crown, but the Throne of Ruin again landing onto multiple members, and Carl! He gets the objective for Liquid, and they're fighting back.
Oheb Ball traded out for Demon Kite, and that is Sanford gleaming on out.
He doesn't get to escape, and Sanji, he's trying to look for more!
Brilliance Blast takes out Dominic Kite, and it's just Edward and UL left. They take out JP. The GOAT stands alone.
He can clear the way But Yue and Edward, what could the plan be? The Lord is spawning right now, and they might not get to push any further. Carl still taking him on. Edward's all alone, receives majority of the Ogi Shadow kill, but he's so tanky.
All right, Edward here is doing his best to distract Liquid from taking that purple, and it's already too late. Yue yeeted away the purple buff once again from Carl Teasy. Let's check out that instant replay, that moment, that play that led to this very moment. Again, I could have sworn that Sanford and Sanji, the way they're positioning themselves, and we thought they learned their lesson. We thought Sanford was all out of tricks, but no, he still found a way.
It was perfect, because they knew that Doming did not have the Winter Crown anymore. And I couldn't even recall when Yue used his, or did he just choose not to? Oh, that's the moment he used his.
There it is.
So that's why he survived. But even Sanji, those last-minute decisions of still trying to fight, even when it was that dangerous, they probably had it all calculated either way.
So for a majority of this 15-minute game, Aurora have been getting away from the Throne of Ruin flicker, replace, instant transmission combo from Sanford, shoot through sheer mechanics. But the Apex Predator evolves, adapts on the fly, and finds a way to make it work again. So they cut that lead in half. Aurora are now just up by barely 5,000 gold. So that means the firepower on Sanji and even Carl are catching up.
Yeah, he might actually go for, or the way it's looking right now, maybe a Holy Crystal next too.
He has room for 2 more items.
Yeah.
So that could be a Holy Crystal and what? One could assume Lightning Truncheon, or people don't build that anymore. The Lantern.
Yeah.
More extra damage.
And it's not going to be a great time for all those who keep standing in front of Team Liquid, of Light or Edward. They're just always the guys tanking the damage, but it's not like Sanji takes them head on, because he's always looking for different targets.
Yep,
But
Sanji has been very patient with his approach.
yeah, but even if that's been the case for him, once he gets all those items locked in, it may be a bit different. Carl, I think he finally got
Yes!
purple buff.
Without using a Retribution, if I'm not mistaken, Demon Kite used his. He did! I mean, no harm, no foul, right? We know that they're gonna dance in the next minute or so, but that's a clear sign again for those of y'all who are superstitious, who have a certain set of routine and beliefs. Much like Team Liquid, you know that Liquid have a set of beliefs, and if they do this, they will win.
Yeah.
If Carl Teasy gets his purple, then maybe this changes things.
Yeah. Especially as we're looking at a potential objective fight that started right now. Demon Kite's holding it so far.
Oh wait, no, that might have been an animation bug. I think Demon Kite did secure. Look, it's gone.
Or, yeah.
Huh.
So it wasn't...
He did it, he did it. That Retribution was worth it for Demon Kite now. The dance, fully breaking on out. That's a fourth of the health left on the Lord.
Oh, now it's a bit different. Light going in. Sanji already forced to use his Chaos. But Demon Kite, while those were happening, he just took the objective for Aurora. JP, can he get out of this? Oheb still not going in. Now he does. But look at the real world manipulation. Stopping them in their tracks.
When it comes to honesty, no one can be Aurora in a fight like this.
Sanford going in. But JP, he had to receive the damage from the Appraiser's Wrath. Sanji goes in as well. But this does not look like it's gonna be good for Liquid.
It's gone sideways.
Oh, but he still survives.
Sanji still takes out Demon Kite. Oheb holding on. Down goes Sanji. Oheb the only one left.
And now there goes another wipeout. With no one left to defend, Aurora will take match point.
One game away from the grand finals. One game away from that slot at M7. Aurora 2-1.
Every single player just keeps adapting, just keeps learning. I don't know what to expect in the next few games anymore, if any.
Honestly, the writing was on the wall. Aurora was just waiting for that one window. Let's go to Midnight and Athena.
The match gets getting more exciting as the game goes by. A match point for Aurora.
One game from the grand finals and one game from Jakarta for M7. Amazing stuff coming out from the Northern Lights. That Lord dance though, that last part, I thought And I think the mindset is for TLPH, they know Aurora's gonna take the Frederick no matter what. So this steal allows them to play the Arlott with the Zushin while also not worrying about the Phobius, because now you have a Baksha to deal with the Phobius if ever. And then if you think about these first 3 picks by Aurora, there's no answer against the Baksha.
Yeah, and now we're able to see 2 from the top 5 most contested heroes for Season 16 all onto the side of the LPH and the right for Aurora.
Okay,
Might
I like
be
this.
Eve. Okay, that's an Eve here for Yue.
Yeah. So at least it attacks both the Zushin and also the Baksha. Kimi could have been good as well, but the problem was it was against the Baksha. So this Baksha pick blocked a lot of heroes from the side of Aurora, but MTB found a good answer. Let's rush the Eve pick. We don't have to worry about XP because we do have Red 4. So I think for Red 4, if you want to go down to the nitty-gritty, I think Lapu still works for Edward. You don't have to worry about you know, the Arlott matchup. You have the bypass against the Zushin. You get the stun or the control against the Baksha. Alice for sure is not going to be played for both sides. Again, Red 4 Lapu is the thing. So TLPH could just also remove that, and then maybe we go down to the Uranus of Edward.
Yeah, and also for the Baksha, they tend to go for a flex around this.
Yes,
Remember,
that's
JP
true.
is
That's
also
true.
using a Baksha onto the roam. And for Aurora, they could dance around what this child is also doing here.
Yeah.
Biggest shout-outs to the fans of the Cavalry and even the Lights here present on the Konata Astrodome. But what is not present is still the Khalid being banned out here for Aurora. Might be a hero here onto Oheb.
Claude ban. I think Claude works here. Oh, Chip. Interesting. It's an interesting ban, by the way.
JP ban. You mentioned the Chip for game number 1, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Chip is okay here because you have a Katot, you have an Eve. I think they overreacted too much. There goes the Lapu ban. So now Aurora, you go down to the Uranus or
Esme? Boss.
I don't
Esme
like.
will have a hard time.
Yeah, I don't like the Esme here, honestly.
Basic options here for Edward.
Glue?
Blue is a possibility.
Yeah, I think glue, but they have to worry about these 2 picks coming out from TLPH because it could be a Claude, but then there's also a world where Oheb just picks up an Esmeralda.
What if we go back to a Hylos Edward? Just
That could work. Hylos XP or maybe Hilda. Okay, they still go for the Phobius.
okay, somewhere in the setup here in the dark wave for Aurora. TLPH. Moscow for Oheb.
I don't like this Moskov. I don't like this Moskov.
Maybe it's
pick.
all about the vantage point here for Oheb and the Matilda for JP. So it's going to be a jungler Baksha here for Carl.
I mean, if you ever wanted a gold lane fighter for Doming, I would say Esme is very good here. Even though there's a Baksha, I don't think you die against this composition if you're Esme.
But so far, Doming Kite's success onto fighter gold heroes is not yet that high.
Actually, never mind. They don't have a final, so they need a marksman here.
Let's see. He's not hovering over any heroes at all. Very nice catcher for camera guy.
Yeah. What about Natan? Natan, Bruno.
Go back to the carrier, Brody here. If ever.
I'd say Natan. Natan's the better pick here.
The 1-1 is actually open, if ever.
Obsidia.
So it's going
Ooh,
to be...
no.
Do you lock it? It
Dude.
is an Ixia.
There's a Mastelda in the game!
He was actually touching the Matilda before he picked off and locked in the Ixia.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they're worried about it. Maybe he was like, are you sure, guys? Are you sure?
you sure?
There's a Mastilda in this freaking game. There's an Arlott as well. But maybe somebody was like, don't worry, we'll protect you. All right, let me lock it in.
That is a very huge statement to get a Nixia against the Matilda. And I do feel the contemplation there for Doming Kai.
Yeah.
And that's a very nice POV to see as well.
To be fair, before he was Aurora, when he was in Minana Evos, this was his most successful hero.
But still, risking it all for the match point here for Aurora. Let's see if this will be the final game. Will they be a representative and go to the grand finals? Let's head on over to our casters.
One win away for Aurora to cement themselves in the grand finals and book their ticket to Jakarta. One more game for Liquid to win to take us all the way.
And in that very crucial game, we see Dominkite pick up an Iksha in the gold lane.
This is a debut and a re-debut, if you'd like to call it. Midnight did throw back and allude to Dominkite's early days,
Yep.
once known as Domingder or Domingar. He was with Minana Evos. That's, I think, when we started calling him Pal Doming.
Yes.
When he started, you know, really rack up the farm. And Brigida, you mentioned how you saw this on like a TikTok or something. Ixia and Eve.
There's this certain combo between the Iksha and the Eve, which lets you just lock down all your opponents if you get to put or launch the real-world manipulation
With the
at
full
perfect-
barrage.
and the full barrage at the perfect spot.
So
And
it's like geometry, like
Yeah.
a triangle with a square or a rectangle.
But what I'm thinking about is that Sanford has a vengeance. Carl TZ may be somehow affected, but he does still have the Backshot Shield Unity.
And
But-
there's a Matilda that can just eat them out.
Yeah, but there's a Guiding Wind and the Crimson Beacon. So there are just so much blink skills
That
for
could
Liquid.
Get you out of that box. Which is, again, something Aurora is willing to play with. Again, this is the threat we present. What are you going to do about it, Liquid? While Liquid is sticking to a very Liquid identity. Look at their draft and look at how brazen Carl TZ is taking that small cap away in the bottom lane. They're up by about 200. Like, that's what that small, sneaky rotation got.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like Liquid have decided to just pour all of their attention to Doming, because it's been a bit too obvious that Aurora are sticking with the Fredrin. So now they have to target Doming, but now who is going to be the first target? Carl TZ just goes for Demon Kite straight up. There goes the RWM, and they just try to get out of the box, as mentioned. And it's so easy for them, but Edward flickers in with a Dark Wave!
Coming in with a demonic pursuit by Sanford.
That's gonna be the first casualty of the game. First objective goes to Aurora
Oh!
2. And they just get more out of that.
With that first trade, would have been worth it. And the turtle made it even more, giving both of these gold laners what Joseph would like to call the gold lane experience, and I think Dominkite is having the time of his life.
He is making things harder for OHEB. OHEB just barely tried to get the remaining gold from that wave. His SOD didn't even land at the right moment to get the last hit on that second minion.
Doming sidestepped.
And he just had to risk it to take that last minion down bottom. But maybe it's also about the laning advantage. For Dominkite, the Iksha arguably can handle herself in the lane, not until someone decides to, like JP,
Yep.
rotate down bottom.
Change the math significantly. In a 1v1 situation, she has better sustainability, a little more reliable crowd control. OHEB kind of has the angle, that Spear of Misery.
Yeah, the passive and all that.
And as you can see, though the wave is at equilibrium, but still, Dominkite has that XP advantage. I wonder if there's a significant gold advantage as well. As you can see, Aurora, 3.5 minutes in, has 1,000 gold up. So that's what you get with one more kill and that turtle that you scored.
Yeah, it's so good for Doming that they won that first objective fight too, because it just allowed him to be a lot more confident here in the laning phase. The bottom lane doesn't seem to be a problem for Aurora, at least for now, because you would expect that Light might have to pay a bit more attention to this Iksha. JP could be a bit more aggressive on this Matilda, but all I'm seeing are guiding winds provided to OHEB to reposition and keep himself safe. They're not guiding winds that try to push forward or threaten Dominkite.
Yeah, so it looks like Liquid are hunkering down for what could be the inevitable defensive state that they'll be in if they have to give up every single turtle in the early game. This is the second one spawning in the lower quarter. Quite the pull from Aurora. Again, we have two utility junglers. So expect that these dances will last a little longer. Turtle approaching half health.
Yep, no one's really committing just yet, but Aurora decides to go in first. There's the real world once again. Sanford using the final slash, but no follow-up will happen. Aurora are just going all in, and Carl TZ's the next target. Sanji's Crimson Beacon out, but Edward follows him under the turret. And that's 2 members down for Team Liquid.
And one of them is the Retribution holder, so Aurora can take their sweet time. Oh my lord. You mentioned all the dashes. You mentioned how it should be easy to dodge that RWM full barrage combo, but guess what? Mr. Consistent likes it when you dash away. He gets to chase you with the Infernal Pursuit.
And guess what? They're not doing the combo. They're using it at different times.
Exactly, they're layering it. They're not getting their cake and eating it too. They're getting their cake and keeping it in their back pocket for a rainy day. And that rainy day is today as Aurora take mid lane. Aurora on the way to taking the bottom lane. They're up 2,000 gold.
All theories are gone. Aurora have a different approach at playing this lineup. And Team Liquid Philippines, they're clearly surprised by how they're doing this.
Rick, it's a full 1,000 between Oheb and Dominkite. And Dominkite just went full greed.
Oh.
Sky Piercer on this Ixia.
Sky Piercer first even, maybe. Or was it second?
Item.
Okay, it's
he has
second.
one fully built
Corrosion.
item. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's on his way to a Swift Trinity. But first, a little stopover, a little break there with the Sky Piercer. I think he's
That
reading the
feels
room.
something, yeah.
He's reading the room like, you guys are going to feed me the kills, and then we're going to go to Jakarta. Like, that's what's going to happen here.
They're just so close to making that happen. Because at this point, not even Sanford can look for those final slashes to make things work.
Not without triggering Edward.
And not with the real-world manipulation in front of him.
That too, he has to stop. Again, sure you can dash through. You can, you know, train on your targets with the Vengeance, but it's not like the front line of Aurora's making that easy.
Yeah, I think Carl, TZ, and Sanford have to be a lot more calculated in terms of the timings in which they go in, because it's so hard to back out when Aurora decides to punish you.
You know what, here's one of those times when I wish Liquid had that Hayabusa to hunt down this Ixia. Because the last time it was picked was Season 14, about a year ago, September 27, 2024, by Kozin, when he was playing for TNC. So the last time it happened in MPL Philippines, Aurora was on the receiving end of an Ixia.
Yeah, and that was a completely different TNC that we're talking about at the time. A year ago, oh, Edward again has all his eyes on Sanford. But could he be the target? They're gonna settle for whatever they can, because at this point, Team Liquid, they could not get close to the objective.
Little trade though. Aurora did have to open up that bottom lane. Oheb doing work, getting farm on him. Maybe that SOD missing was a little bit of bird toast. even if it did hit, like he wouldn't have to press it. Like he should keep himself scared. I think that's step one in Liquid's recovery. Don't pick fights. Guiding wind away, saving Oheb from Edward.
That's all we're seeing for now. Unfortunately, they have that, but how else can they utilize the tools that they have? They're not able to play as aggressively because of the threat of an immediate punish from Aurora. Either the real world, the full barrage, or Edward just blocking every single member of Liquid from running away. Oh, smart move from Carl, but Oheb gets caught by the Unbreakable. Oh my goodness.
Something tells me Aurora have put the fear of God into Liquid. You see how fast JP flickered away?
Yeah.
I think he was expecting a full-on collapse. He's like, no way!
Because it could happen. Edward was so close nearby.
It was a jump scare.
And now all they're doing is just going for the split push. Team Liquid Philippines, they're stuck in this position of they can't even pick a team fight.
Nope.
They can't even try to look for pickoffs. No one seems like a safe target if we talk about Aurora.
Not until Oheb is ready. And Oheb is so far behind. He's almost 2,000, full 2,000 behind Dominkite. And he only has 2 out of 3 on that Swift Trinity, while Dominkite is on his way. He's 2 in, but also he has a Sky Piercer. Luckily, no stacks on yet.
Yeah, but he also has the Sea Halberd, so like, even this early on, they're finding ways to deal with every single form of sustain that Liquid has.
Right, shield, heal, and given an Ixia, again, it's been a while, folks, since we've actually seen one in professional play. Might not even want that Swift Trinity. He might just want that Corrosion Sight, and then a smorgasbord of other damage items that you put on marksman. Lord spawns, upper quarter, Aurora approaching that 5,000 gold lead over Liquid. And I'm not so sure this is the right call. I don't think the cavalry wants to smoke.
JP really want to stand up front. Edward, once again, it's always Sanford that he's trying to look for.
Oh no.
Carl TZ trying to close in. Edward forcing a fight down or on the other side of the map as well. But the AOG is already committed. SOD finally connects. Sanford goes in and Demon Kite actually falls. But Edward gets the Lord!
Mr. Consistent secures it, and they take down so many. The Liquid Stampede is quelled. Rora finds the wipeout. Kite is a maniac.
A sidestep full barrage from Kite to take down 4 members from the cavalry.
40 couldn't flicker, JP couldn't flicker, could have maybe saved someone with a guiding winds, but Kite was too damn deadly.
Fortunately, the death timers aren't that long just yet, but they'd have to say goodbye to their holy shields. And Aurora, they're so terrifying, they actually go for Yue, but is he the target? Kite! It's Kite they want! It's a shutdown from Sanji!
Oheb coming in from the back line. Demon Kite trained on him. Traded 2 for already. JP and Sanford.
Oh no!
3 members of Aurora are on him. Down he goes. Yue gets him.
That was time for Liquid to clear the Lord, but was he the best option to get that time? To buy that time for the cavalry?
It's gone sideways as the RWM comes out of Yue.
Carl TZ and Sanji, they still have to deal with a single minion and another wave in mid, but Carl, he's trying to close in Demon Kite. Sanford trying to catch up, goes for light, but he has the unbreakable to move a bit further. Carl TZ gets blocked by the minions and the chase will not continue.
Aurora makes that decision. We can't force the issue. Kite just spawned, and we need our marksman to be able to finish this. Put a dot on this match. End it with an exclamation point. 6,000 gold up. Kite just built that malefic gun. So as if that range difference was already huge enough, he can now shoot at you from where you can't even see him.
That's gonna be a lot more problems for Liquid. Imagine how much resources they had to commit just to find that kill on Kite.
A lot, Brigida, a lot. But here's the thing. Oheb has his Swift Trinity already, and he's on his way to his Wind of Nature. So that means he'll be relatively safe from a good chunk of Edward's damage, from Kite for sure, from even Demon Kite, but not Yue. So Yue, as you can see, is on top of damage dealt. So all these swipes, all these hard presses, if you may do that with the RWM, are making a difference. That's something that Liquid has to deal with too.
And this is Yue, this Eve, has a purple buff on his hero.
That's Carl's.
It's not like Carl needs it. He's not a Hayabusa in this game, you know.
But Liquid needs it.
But they need all resources that they can, because we're still talking about a 6K gold lead in favor of Aurora.
We've seen worse gold leads that feel much worse. This is a very dominant 6K gold lead, and I think they're in the right spots. Kite builds his final item to fill up his kit. He has a Wind of Nature of his own, so in case Oheb finds him, Sanford finds him, he should be fine. Lord getting blitzed by Aurora.
Oh, wait, they're actually moving away. They see majority of Liquid trying to position themselves in the Lord. What could be the call for Aurora?
Deadly Dawn started up Vital Slash.
Sanford finding some targets, but they're not the best just yet. Light jumping in, Kite secures the Lord, Demon Kite rather, and now they're going in, JP, all in, Sanford's next. They're losing members one by one, Aurora. They're going for the chase, but Liquid has to run away.
The Stampede goes backwards, they roll out. The Lord spawns up top. Aurora is inside the base. They crack through mid.
Do they have enough wave clear? Can Oheb deal with this alone? Sanji, what can they do to delay the siege?
Full barrage!
Oheb is down. There's no one left to clear. It's a double for Domeng and the Northern Lights towards their redemption are headed back to the world stage.
Aurora are going to Jakarta, 3-1. They're going to M7. They lock in for the grand final. end the regular season at #1 for nothing.
Top 1, 14 win streak, now make it 15 this season. And they're so close to potentially ending the entire season with only a single
here on the Cuneta Astrodome.
Yeah, the support is all there. But the question is the focus, is the tenacity, is the will there to actually take them to the lower bracket finals? Let's find out. Drafting phase for game #1. Again, Onyx is blue side. And we will be drawing map. I'm feeling lucky, by the way.
Go!
I think we go Broken Walls, game 1.
I think it's Expanding Rivers here for game 1. But let's see as we tune in onto what a randomizer will be. Okay, it's Expanding Rivers. Sorry, Midnight.
Pack it up. I'm going home.
No, don't leave me here. But anyway, though, looking at the win rate for our teams, it's not that high, but of course it really depends on the heroes that they will be locking in here also. And speaking of which, direct ban Fanny and Hayabusa Midnight.
Onyx, it feels like they realize this draft is not against CNC. This draft is against Zaida. We don't need to worry about the Lances and Shin, probably. We don't need to worry about the Lunox, the Zushin, the Valentina. No need to worry about the Chakno heroes, the Grok, the Gatot. Because all of those, Onyx plays. What they can't replicate is the success that TNC has been able to do to boost Zaida's game.
Exactly. And one of their Infinix keys to victory, according to Wolf, was actually to protect King Kong's farm. And the way to do it is to actually limit the hero that could interrupt King Kong and Zaida getting the most out of it, and eliminating also the Lancelot here from Coach Etomax. Now we're down to if the Yusin will be open or banned out here for Onyx PH.
They probably think that they could leave Yusin open because they have a Joy player. So, you know, Onyx Philippines, they're not too crazy about first picking Yusin. I think they're more worried about, there you go. They're more worried about like phenomenal XP laners that could come out from 3MAR. Heroes like Alice, Yuzong, Arlott, and also just the ability to move around the map for Zaida. Because funnily enough, TNC in this current playoffs, they're the ones who have been implementing the Sigma pattern. Zaida's always rotated towards the middle lane, given enough space for Lancy and Chakno to walk out of that lane and make sure that 3MAR0 is utilized. So now I think that's the idea for on the Philippines. They shut it down completely, and TNC, they have to find a new variation from this draft, or maybe find a different draft that executes the same.
You're right about that. Like, if you would want to somehow tilt the balance here for TNC Pro Team, don't let 3MAR get solid heroes such as the Yuzong. And considering that the king of the jungle is threatened because there's a new challenger here. Actually, he's not that new, but this for me is one of the strongest seasons yet. And the Yusin Shina, as we mentioned, will be the first pick here for Onyx Philippines. We know for TNC Pro Team, they could go for a 3MAR and a Lancy hero as early as possible.
I think TNC, their last remaining choice here is to go utility. I don't think you go Joy on Zaida. Or maybe even the box shot. I mean, you know what? You can actually consider the utility jungler route here for TNC, similar to what Aurora did against CLPH. So since Zushin's out, I think you go Fred or Baksha, and then maybe supplement it with a Kimi so that Lance has a hero. So they go for the Gatot. It's Chakno's best hero in the playoffs. And they go for okay, I thought they went with a Zetyan.
Or a Lunox.
Okay, Lunox.
Yeah. That's alright. I see a very stable performance so far for Lancy with his Lunox. But so far, and partnered up with a Chakno hero. You mentioned you need a very signature-like setup here for Chakno. Now for Onyx Philippines, it's up to them to somehow get a hero that could escape and could also be solid onto the mid lane for Super Prince. Options like
Kimi, Arlott, CC, these are the options. I think that these are great options for Onyx. Maybe you go mid here.
My tail's been itching for a real fight.
Oh, they bring it back. Brusco Kalea on blue side, it's funny. You know what? Where was the Kalea for the past games?
Where were you?
Against Yi Sun Shin.
Actually, it wasn't even banned out. Just wasn't.
Exactly. There were so many like Yi Sun Shin games without any Kaleas in them.
But
It
now-
was the counter back in the regular season, but maybe it's because of the fact that the Gato was just overly prioritized by a lot of these teams. But now TNT's gotten themselves the Gato. You go back to the to the Kalea route for Onyx, and it is a signature pick for Brusco.
Yeah, and you would want
What time is
instant
it?
pick-off
It's
hero
Onyx
here.
time!
If you are on a Philippines, but
They picked Joy.
with the in-game sounds
Yeah.
and basing.
They picked Joy, I think, for TNC. This is Zyda's. I can't remember when was the last time he played Joy, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that great. Because it does need a lot of time, and TNC usually loses steam in the mid game if they don't
Yep.
have that, mid game down with their comp. So this is a little bit worrying, even though late game comes, this lineup is a monster against a YSS. His secondary problem is that he's playing Joy into a Kalea, so that's
I am
another
not the
layer
only
of
one bound by
issue
these
that they have to
chains.
solve in the late game.
My
But
kids.
isn't it ironic to use
Will it grant
the Joy and then
immortality?
use the
Yeah.
Onyx
Or
championship
death?
skin?
Onyx skin.
If you're Zyda, someone of a taunt also, like I could also do that, or he can do better, but let's see.
Oh.
Because he's a strong challenger, as I mentioned here, a
Yeah.
threat to the king of the jungle. But now Alice has been banned out, even if Mobius here for Coach Eto Max. And for the side of Onyx Philippines, they could also try and limit an XP hero here for Tremar. I think Tremar has been one of the most consistent when it comes to TNC alongside on what
Payback
Zyda is doing.
Yeah.
It was all made possible by Tremar and Chaknu.
Yeah, and now again, Onyx is just honing on this these heroes that gives Tremar the ability to change the tides of the game. They remove the Alice. I also like the fact that TNC removed the Farsa. It is annoying, even though they have a Gatot and Joy. It's annoying for the Lunox. So if the Lunox can play, then the Joy and the Gatot will just fall victim to the CC and the Kalea. So this does open up the route again for the Joy and the Gatot to be able to play this game. But I still think this Kimi is a big problem for TNC. If they ever manage to get the Kimi on the hands of Super Prince, yes, you have damage, you have front line. But what Onyx PH have is early game.
I don't think that Onyx Philippines could also go for the
hunt
Evo if
begins.
ever. Just so when Brusco catches someone, it's already inside the RWM. But Ruby is a very good ban here for Onyx Philippines. But there's going to be a lap of prior here for Tremar.
I thought it was gonna be Arlet, honestly. It's either Arlet or Exberg. You either deal with the CC early game and then provide team fight for mid game, or you go full greed. Like late game heroes for the side of TNC, Exberg would have worked against Kalea and the CC. But now Onyx Philippines, if they want, if they want the gold lane fighter, Esmeralda is the way to go. Even though there's a Lunox on the other side, Esme is just overall good against Lapo and Joy.
Or maybe just go for the traditional route here. Because considering they also already have the CC, but
Yeah.
basing on the perks of heroes so far,
And I am
they
the
might pick a
dancer.
new hero as well and give the CC to
Oh.
Kelra, Selena for Super Prince.
Okay, Arlet against the Lapo and then CC gold lane. I still think Exborg works here for TNT. You go greedy route. There's no harm. If you're TNT, put Benny on the Lapo and utilize an Exborg XP for Tremar. It's not as heavy on playmaking, but it's more so like Onyx PH. If you
Yeah.
don't capitalize on the mid game, you just lose out late game. That's it.
Or maybe they want a late game hero here, like a Moskov
Light
for
me
Benny
up
QT.
and
There you go,
watch the
export.
Or
world
something like the expert Cassie mentioned. And they will be picking it off onto their last pick here for first drafting phase. Now, with the stage set and the hero set midnight, for TNC Pro Team, they kind of got the gist of what Onyx Philippines is trying to do by getting the Selena for Super Friends and even the Kalea. But looking at the index now, it's more of a late game
Yeah.
spike here for TNC Pro Team.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's as we've mentioned earlier, Onyx, they do have mid game. They have the capacity to snowball, but if they don't get King Kong enough, if they don't give King Kong enough farm and space, they're just gonna naturally lose to this lineup of TNC.
Let's see, because it's going to be a do-or-die match for our second match of the day. Only one can survive. Let's head on over to the Land of Dawn to get to know more on today's game. Casters, it's your time.
And it's time for a lower bracket bout between TNC Pro Team and Onyx Philippines. Last night, TNC came so close to locking in for that upper bracket bout. At the same time, last night, Onyx got hard swept.
This time, though, it's elimination that's on the line for Onyx and TNC. And that's what they're fighting for, to get into the top 3 and to stay in this tournament. And possibly even redemption, especially if you're talking about Onyx Philippines.
Looking at the lineup that TNC brought in, we've known them to have this very specific brand of Mlbb.
Yep.
Post-Project Next, they have played so much fighter gold lane. Cutie, the Storm, we know that he does this often, but here he's rocking an X-Borg. Yesterday, we saw Kellra hovering over an X-Borg, but in a post-match interview, he confirmed that it was always going to be a Moscow.
Yeah. That's something Onyx hasn't fully committed to trying again, because it's not like they didn't try using fighter gold lanes at all. In the regular season, we did see them try explore, but
this was the first one.
This was the first one, and then we saw another hero, I believe it was along the lines of a Ruby, but it wasn't as successful of a campaign from Onyx. But maybe after what happened against Team Liquid, they've realized a few things that maybe they have to find a way to make it work.
Yep, this first game will definitely set the tone for what has elapsed and what transpired in the Onyx boot camp to try and reset after yesterday's tragedy. Again, a sweeping loss against the Cavalry. This is their recovery. It starts now. Turtle about to spawn in the lower quarter of the map. Chakno gets knocked up here. TNC members are very low. I'm not so sure how they're going to be positioning themselves for this first tournament.
I'm surprised he's not actually trying to reset prior the objective. This is expanding rivers either way, but Chakno's still staying here. And now they're not able to do anything.
Nothing, Bree, nothing. 10 seconds after it spawned, again, same question, like, what was the play? Usually when teams concede a turtle, there's always something else that they're looking at. Here, TNC seem to be going at half speed.
Yep, and it's not what I'd expect for a team who's always been so committed to fighter lineups and have shown us such brawly games the previous day. This feels like TNC when they entered Game 5 last night. It's a much more careful, conservative approach to playing the game, when in fact, this is not what worked for them at all.
Yep, they've always been more successful in their element when they're constantly fighting. With a lineup like this, I don't exactly see how they can pull off a Phoenix Flash.
Yeah.
That's the random fights that come out of nowhere that end up in a beneficial trade or totally free kills for TNC. That is their MO. That's what's been successful for them in the playoffs.
And at least for Onyx, I'm liking how good they're holding the mid lane. And now speaking of mid lane, Chakno might actually fall here. He's trying to sustain everything, and he will with the revitalized Super Prince. Fortunately had the flicker. Oh, but that's the Tsunami Slap from Brusco. Still not able to pick up a kill though, even if Kellra, or even though Kellra did join the fight.
You see that? Both teams had their own fair share of doubts. Ult's thrown over here. Revitalize is popped over there. Flickers even from Super Prince.
That's a lot.
Yet no one fell.
I'm even surprised that Chakno still lives, because those are 3 members of Onyx who poured out so much of their skills in an attempt to take him down. Maybe not the Tsunami Slam, but it's not like they needed it for that kill, supposedly, towards Chakno.
That's veteran Wiles, the wisdom that comes with playing for so many years in the MPL. He debuted in Season 4. He's been playing since 2019. That's 6 years that Chakno has been doing this for a living, and he knows that Azaka's Kachak, he would not die. Cutie gets his Pyrock armor popped.
Yep, and that's 9 playoffs appearances too. But then Lancy going in, Super Prince has nowhere to run to. First blood for Lancy on this Lunox once more, but the Tsunami Slam gets committed onto the right target. Saida's nowhere to be found. And there's another kill that goes into the hands of King Kong.
Oh my god, Kirk going from target to target. Kellra dealing damage as well. All enough time for King Kong to take the turtle.
That was such a quick decision from Onyx Philippines. Even though the fight was still on, King Kong did not decide to join at all.
No.
He just had to focus on his priorities, and being a Yi Sun-shin, this is such a great start.
And that puts them almost 2,000 gold ahead. 5 minutes in, 2 turtles in the back pocket. This is the Onyx we've been looking for. Benny again gets his Firaga armor popped. A trap triggered. It's not a good game to be an X-Borg.
It's not a Farsa mid lane you're seeing in Super Prince, but the way he keeps bursting the Firaga armor essentially feels the same. The rotations towards the top lane have been so frequent, and this is the first time we're seeing Benny on the X-Borg, but we're not able to see much from him just yet.
Nope, we've always seen him get his Firaga armor pop. No last insanities that actually mean anything. So TNC have to find a way to recover elsewhere. And it looks like the EXP lane ain't gonna be it. Folks, in case you've just joined us recently and are not aware of how things work, there are gold lane fighters now. So this is not a mistake. You're seeing an Arlen versus a Lapu-Lapu in the EXP lane and a CC and an X-Borg in the gold lane.
Do not be confused about which is the EXP lane, because it's still the Arlot Lapu. It's just that we're currently at a point where even the gold lane mostly revolves around fighters now.
Yep.
And maybe it's also because of, oh, hold on.
Tsunami Slam!
Now that's an XP lane pickoff. We were just talking about it, and 3-Mar gets taken down.
Boris James Paro has had it. Since yesterday, he's been struggling to get his team to a good position, and now he said he'll just put it into his own hands, literally, serving up kills. 3-2 now, still keeping that 2,000 gold lead, and King Kong farming. I think he's had it with this question of, so really, who's the king of the jungle? It's him!
Individually,
He knows it's him!
right, it's like individually they woke up. Brusco now deciding to pick the Kalea. Oh, he is a bit more decisive in terms of the pickoffs. Hold on though, there's the Firaga armor, he's intact. The last insanity we finally see inside actually gets the objective this time. Will Lancey survive though? He gets to walk away. The flicker knockup from Brusco. Lancey does not survive, and that's the last insanity just to escape. Kirk making things work as well. But so far, it's just TNC who lose a member.
Oh my God!
And it's no longer just one.
The Monster Mage shows up! A flicker and a kill on a Betty!
Okay, I know we mentioned things about waking up.
Kirk!
Now even Prince does, but Kirk gets taken by Zyda. So that's at least one trade TNC got. But in the past few team fights we saw, King Kong, Brusco, Prince, they've all had their individual highlights already. This was what was lacking from them yesterday.
That's right. And now TNC are looking for a way to get into a dominant position. They need to get some offense in there. And Kelra pops that curtain call, throws it between Lancey and 3-Mar, almost takes down Lancey. Oh, he's gonna get punished hard.
Zyda. He finds him there. Could have been really close for Lancey though. They're not letting Lancey serve as a secondary core in this situation.
Nope.
It's like they know that's what Lancey's supposed to do. So maybe that's also why they put so much emphasis towards the mid lane.
A lot of fans online, armchair analysts, and everyone who has an opinion thinks Lancey needs to step his game up, and Onyx are pressing hard on that. They're applying pressure on TNC's mid laner, their team captain. And I'll tell you now, I get it. This is the right thing to do. If Lancey gets into a position where his damage is real, and he can start acting as a threat magnet as well to Selena, so that, oh my God, oh my!
There's another setup from Brusco. He's mad, I can feel it.
Yep.
Now there's a Mountain Shocker too.
It's a combo wombo. You're gonna get hit by one of these things, these arrows, those tsunami slams.
Everything.
Even Kirk has a real threat to Lancey.
We don't even get to see the final slashes yet. It's like everyone else is able to look for openings even without Kirk starting things up. Brusco doesn't have the Tsunami Slam, but that's already enough to take out the Braga armor. There goes Kirk. He finds a 3-man setup, and every single member of Onyx just decides to go in. Betty Cutie keeping himself safe under the turret, but another knockup, denying Zyda of his attempts. And The double for Keller on the CC.
You know someone else who's had it with these haters, these naysayers?
Who?
That's Kirk. Kirk has had a rough season 16, and on this Arlen, he is earning all of the trust that was once there from the online community. Lord for Onyx, now they're up 4K.
Wow, that's even a rose gold meteor pickup by Kirk. I could feel how aggressive he wants to play this Arlot. And even just now, that was a really aggressive one. He was already under the turret, and I'm surprised he still survived.
And he's third in farm. Super Frizz ain't even that close. Super Frizz is like 1,000 gold away, so you understand why Kirk is farming this way, why Kirk is building up this item kit that allows him to do just that. Again, an Oracle, that casual Fury Hammer. Even 3mar can think twice with how the economy is going for the Phoenix Army.
Yeah, we can't see 3mar confidently jumping in with the bravest fighter at all. And maybe at this point, Onyx might even consider him as a target, as a viable target for whatever setups they want to go for, just because of how much damage they could already throw out. But what they'll be prioritizing for now are the turrets.
That's right. In a fighter gold versus fighter gold type of lineup and matchup, the map is your #1 enemy because you don't have a marksman, pushing isn't as easy. Lansky catches an arrow, does not pull the trigger just yet. No Purify, no Brilliance. And look at the free damage that Onyx has laid down on him. Oh no!
Oh, you just said it. You cannot feel at ease when you're against this lineup of Onyx.
It was this close to a fight actually breaking out. Super Frizz's consistency on the Abyssal Arrow is out of this world. 42% over 11.5 minutes of competition.
Yep.
This guy's been, I don't think Frizz slept last night. I think he just practiced Selena.
All these skill shots are landing on every single member of TNC. And again, if maybe Chakdu did still have his AOG there, they might have considered fighting back, but it was a no, so they couldn't afford to risk anything. Not when Onyx was that close to their base turrets, to potentially doing a siege that they'll forever regret. And look at how close supposedly things are, but not until you look at the map.
Yep, no, big picture. It's more than just this 2,000 gold gap between King Kong and Zyda. And it's not like Zyda looks like a chump, all right? Zyda somehow finds a way to always get what's left on the map. And it makes sense because he is technically the funnel. Without it's not an easy lineup, yes, but he's doing the same thing. Farm into me. Let me get the burst damage I need so that some way, somehow, Chakdu's set up their bait plays with 3mar will make sense. If anything, I feel bad for Benny. It's Benny who can't catch a break.
And imagine this guy, just yesterday, was using heroes like the Cho. So he could do and find openings all by himself. He could even try and go for pickoffs all by himself, but now it's different. He's an export, and since they're playing from behind, they might need him a bit more for defense. But is that really the way Benny wants to play?
The truth is much closer to a high-tech Pinata. That's exactly what he is. Onyx gonna throw stuff at him, he's gonna break, and then he throws more stuff at him again, and it's rare that he finds them with his Firaga armor intact, is what I'm trying to say. 7,000 now, as Onyx secures their second Lord. Item game is looking so much worse. TNC are getting depraved, even these small camps. You see here, Super Frizz and Brusco are checking this purple. I think they understand that Zyda needs the purple more than the orange.
It's another situation of choking out resources from an assassin jungler. And arguably, maybe that's why we're seeing a lot more less joys come into play, because again, the joy feels as if it needs a bit more time, it needs more farm.
Yep.
And now Onyx know exactly how to prevent Zyda from getting to that point, where he could just fight head on. Oh my goodness, the Brilliance was already used!
And it was quite a point-blank arrow. It's just, you can never tell when Super Frizz decides to flicker in and jump you. Approaching a 9,000 gold lead Onyx has, and it's miserable. The purple does finally spawn, but King Kong's gonna take it away like your lunch money. Joy is in this category of junglers like Hayabusa, like Needed. Final slash on 3!
Now they're looking for action. Zaida trying to go from behind, but the Tsunami Slam was ready to deny him of another trade. They actually get to take down 3mar with that setup by Kirk.
And that's 3mar, that's a Lapu Lapu. Mind you, did not have the time to get the damage reduction, did not have time to get some spell vamp, and that's the last insanity!
Oh my goodness, because of the brilliance, the arrow landed on Benny. And now Chaknu's next. Zaida trying his best just to clear the ways, but it doesn't stop Onyx from clearing every single base turret left.
Mount Shocker by King Kong, threatening a TNC. There's a Tsunami Slam!
That's a fleeting time, Kalea. And Onyx will not prolong this game any longer. A 15-minute game that goes over to Onyx.
The Super Fam are back with their first win in the playoffs. A lightning round against the TNC. Pro team 1-0.
It's been a while since we saw the Kalea, and it's great we saw it in Brusco's hands.
Now this looks like TNC. I want to hear what Athena and Midnight have to say about this quick one.
Onyx Philippines finally secured their first win for our playoffs this season.
Yeah, even though TNC looked like they are going to be able to match up the tempo of Onyx Philippines, once the actual power spikes and the timing came through, we saw the aggression coming out from Onyx Philippines. Even the, just the sheer presence of the CC, the East and Shin, the Arla, they're able to group up on the map. Matter of fact, Kelra's sometimes over greedy with his map movements, but when they group up, TNC couldn't really fight in terms of the skirmishes because they have to wait. They have to, scale up to the late game. But Onyx Philippines didn't allow them to, and it's because all of these shots were landing from Super Prince, the Monster Mage with the Selena, crazy arrows in the late game as well.
Our Game 1 MVP, Super Prince, the Monster Mage, making waves here for our first game. Aside from that, long-range arrows, point-blank arrows, he's the man that you need. And even onto the highs of Zaida, you would expect that he would have the luxury to try and deny, farm up as much as he can, but that didn't happen at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, playing Selena in this game is kind of awkward. Like, there's a lot of ways for TNC to sort of dodge away from the arrow. I mean, the traps are gonna be kind of annoying, especially for both Zaida and Chaknu, but Benny Cutie and 3mar, they're fine playing against the Selena, but what they're not fine with is Onyx moving as 5. Every arrow that lands it converts into a natural kill for Onyx, and they understand that this is the way to play this game. Every single thing, every single kill that they could get should be taken, even if it doesn't necessarily convert into objectives, because what it converts into is map pressure and also resource advantage.
Yep, and the resource actually was in favor of King Kong all the time. Like, most of the time, there wasn't even a moment that he was even denied. He was even visited here by TNC Pro Team, maybe in the earlier portions of a game, but up until the 8-minute mark, up until the 15th-minute mark rather, it was all pure Onyx Philippines time and again.
And also those, those kill shots were disgusting from Onyx. Aside from the arrows, aside from the jumps coming out from Brusco, that final slash from Kirk really sealed the deal here, nailed the nail in the coffin. And for TNC, they couldn't answer back. They were still waiting for the farm, the items, and the actual damage to come through from Zaida, but even the Joy was under-farmed. He was super under-farmed. By 10 minutes, he was 3,000 to 4,000 gold behind of King Kong.
And just when you needed Kirk to step up, this was this moment. And Leo mentioned that Kirk is just, he's finally had enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to step up. It's time to boot up here for Onyx Philippines. And you mentioned Zaida here. For me, the early pick of the Joy was kind of a question mark. There are multiple assassin here if you want to go the route here for Zaida that they could have gone. And even the Lapu. There were certain questions as well on their comments, like there are more viable heroes here for 3mar, and Lapu for this game against an R, the first pick, just isn't it.
I think they just wanted to see the flex of the CC because they didn't know where Onyx was gonna put the CC. They were right in hoping that they would go gold and then pull out an Xborg last pick. But then again, they were racing against time basically, because Onyx Philippines, they had a deadline, but this game was just an an overwhelming example of if you're all greed, you're just gonna lose fights in the early game. And it's not TNC's fault, honestly. The draft, it had an idea behind it, but they had to delay Onyx overall objectives, which I think it lies when TNC actually tried contesting the objectives of Onyx Philippines instead of forcing trades. That's the way to go if you want to play to late game. But Onyx Philippines, they were more than happy to take these kills that TNC's presenting them, because every every hero that shows up and in fights, nobody could actually handle Onyx. Like, what is a Gato gonna do against a CC, a Yi Sun-shin, and also an Arlet that could just displace him, which prevented the Gato from actually being a proper tank. Yes, he did tank so much damage, but there was no actual conversion for TNC.
Yeah, there was just too much to handle here. And most of that came from Super Friends here, the carry for this round. And our BPI rich guy, King Kong, still, that was definitely one of the best games so far for them, considering they were stumped yesterday by TLPH. Now we finally see the Sigma pattern yet again here for King Kong.
Yeah, they want to do the same thing to TNC. It's a short route towards the the golden rivalry against TLPH, but they have to win 2 more. This is, I would say, pretty much a blueprint game for Onyx Philippines, considering that they have King Kong on the the Yi Sun-shin, they have Kirk on the famous Arlet pickup for the Kirk deck. Even though Kelra is on a CC, it actually helped in terms of ramping up the the timings, the power spike for Onyx Philippines. So it is a worry for TNC that Kelra is able to do this in front of Benny. So I think for TNC, maybe not banning Lancelot is the way to go, because slotting in a Lance ban just forces you to go, Joy against Yi Sun-shin, which prevented Zyda from actually playing the typically known TNC game where they play aggressive from minute 1 up until they just win the game.
And for minute 8 here, onto our head-to-head, the Yi Sun-shin versus Joy here for King Kong and Zyda really reflects on what you mentioned, that it kind of backfired that they banned out the Lancelot. So
yeah,
it was kind of like Zyda was forced onto this Joy, not like they were really planning out this one. It just meant that for TNC Pro Team, they have to really think about their next steps closely here, as there is no more lower bracket for them after this match.
I'd have to say this is more of a draft problem for TNC. Not that they had a bad draft, but they were forced into the situation where they had to deal with the heroes by the individual lanes, and it allowed Onyx to just not worry about existing counters, because sure, you have Joy, it's a late game hero. There's also Kalea, so if you want late game, Onyx just has a lot of farm by that point. Even when Zyda hit the 9k gold mark, King Kong was sitting at like 13k. So it didn't even matter, because at that point they were just waiting to end the game.
And so far for our match 1, we've seen a full house, and even so, there are still Phoenix Army here coming inside the Croneta Astrodome. And by the way, guys, you could also join the new season of MLBB Rising Open as an in-game mode designed to provide players a platform to engage in competitive gameplay and earn in-game rewards. Gather your squad and jump into action.
Yep, a lot of things that you can actually join in MLBB. And speaking about in MLBB, there's also new skins that you want to check out. It's the Aspirants new skins that are now available. Participate in the Aspirants Unite theme draw event. The first 10 times draw using diamonds is 50% off. Every 10 draws guarantees an epic or higher quality skin.
Come and join the draw and witness the power of aspiration together. What a beautiful skin. I do hope I get the chance to be lucky today to draw the Vexana Aspirant skin. Please, please, please. Please, please. I do hope.
It's a flex.
But why are you doing this if you
I'm just
already
helping
have...
you. I'm helping you with the luck. Come on.
Thank you so much.
We're teammates here.
We're family.
We're a family here. We're super family.
Because
And
it's
also
home.
Phoenix on.
MPL is home.
Yeah, MPL
and
is
now
home. Yeah.
let's see who will go home later on. But so far, we all have to go home.
It's such a bad thing to say.
I'm so sorry. They all have to go home.
We're gonna have to send somebody home.
Yes, we
That's
do
true.
have to send somebody home. And we all have to go home later on. So take care for everyone who will be commuting their way home. I'm so sorry.
Honestly.
Yeah. Don't clip that, please, to everyone watching the English stream.
Clip that.
Please, this is our secret now.
Yeah.
you are part of the inner circle. But for that circle, there was a first circle mood here. Like, I was like, oh, picking a Joy against against a player who has his own skin.
Yeah.
And then how ironic it is, like, was it a trigger to, like, actually, you know what, guys? Let's bang them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And too violent. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're sending somebody home and you're also being violent on a player. But
Don't do that.
don't worry, King Kong denied all of that. He was like, you're not Sigma.
But so far for our matches today, there will be so much surprises. But let's head over on to Odin with our merch giveaway.
What time is it?
It's Onyx time!
1-0 now for Onyx Philippines against TNT Pro Team. This is your very own Odin on the side with Ate Aliana. Napakaganda mo naman, Ate. Ay, thank you so much. Ate Aliana, gaano ka na ba katagal na fan ng MPL Philippines?
Simula nung nag-start yung kapatid ko sa EXE.
Okay, Season 7 pa. At sa mga hindi po nakaka-alarm, siya po ay ate ni...
Kelra.
Ate ni Kelra. And etong jersey mo ngayon is one of the jerseys na meron tayo sa ibang seasons pa. Kailan pa ba tong jersey mo?
Nung nag-start siya na lumipat sa Onyx.
Okay, so nung nag-start mag-Onyx Philippines, meron ng jersey si ate. And ano ba ang mensahe mo ngayon kay Kelra? Ngayon na, do or die na kasi tong match nila eh.
Ayun, sanay ka naman dyan sa ganyan. Pero yun nga, natutuwa ko kasi hindi sila lahat nawawala ng pag-asa. Message ko lang, consistent lang, tsaka kaya natin yan.
Naniniwala si ate sa kakayahan mo na gumapang at ipakita ang iyong lakas hanggang sa dulo. At dahil matagal ka na super fan ni Kelra, since birth ni Kelra, meron kaming hinanda na merch para sa'yo. So this is 9th to meet you. Dahil 9 years na ang Mlbb, i-unbox mo na, i-unwrap mo na kung ano nga bang meron sa loob ng ating tote bag. Ay, ang cute, di ba? Ate, bagay yan sa'yo. This is bucket hat with BB. Meron ka pang sticker. Ayan, meron ka pang... O, di ba ang ganda? Gusto mo ba yan, ate? Ipakita natin. Ang parang blanket na banner. O, hawakan natin pareho. O, di ba? This is limited edition at hindi siya nabibili dahil pinamimigay lang siya sa mga super fans ng MLBB. At kanina lang din, nagkaroon tayo ng mga palaro off-broadcast dito sa MPL Arena at namigay din tayo ng ganitong merch, tote bag sa ating lucky super fan. And Ate Aliana, I would like to ask you to do the honors na ipa-cheer naman ang Sonics dahil kailangan nyo na manalo this match.
Guys, what time is it?
Diba? Grabe ang energy ng mga Sonics. Ate Aliana, invite mo rin ang mga MPL fans na manood dito.
Punta na kayo dito sa Cuneta Astrodome Pasay. Iba yung feeling pag nanonood ng live.
Maraming salamat, Ate Aliana. And once again, thank you so much sa ating lahat ng super fans na sumusuporta sa MLBB. At ibalik na muna natin sa aksyon kasama ang ating mga panel.
Salamat. Thank you, Odin, together with our super fan, the sister of Kelra. She is actually the older sister, the ate in Tagalog here, and all support since the start of Kelra's career here on MPL Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, she was with us when, Onyx Philippines won M6 and Kelra was named the MVP of that tournament. She was very ecstatic and was literally crying in tears and, of course, in happiness.
Even Kelra's dad was there with us.
Yeah, they were there.
And that's the happy thing when we see on-site viewers as well, and it turns out they are loved ones, family. They're very low-key, but now they're very vocal onto their support to her brother. Of course, Kelra playing, finally getting the first point here onto their playoffs run. But let's see, because as she mentioned, sanay na kayo dyan is actually in translation in English like, you're used to it, Kelra.
Yeah, you're used to it.
But
he's been with Omega for like a couple of seasons, and he's always like down there. they're always close to being eliminated and then
Yeah.
getting a podium finish.
And-
I don't know why that happens.
And we went to the point like his sister actually isn't nervous at all. Like,
Yeah.
you can do that. You're used to it.
Come on, just
And-
let me know when you're flying to other countries.
They're actually getting ready already for the next round. And for the next round, it's going to be TNC Pro Team for
Okay.
our first pick onto the blue side.
Okay, even though I said earlier, Onyx should stay in the blue side, them being on red side isn't that bad. Because TNC, again, at this point, if they don't flex, they're not even going to be able to capitalize this first pick. That's one thing, flexing is a requirement. Two is also like the ability to dictate the tempo such that in a way Onyx has to address all picks that are going to come out from TNC's side. So I think this Gatot pick, even if it's first pick, it's first pick worthy, I think should be relegated to
Yes.
blue 2 and 3.
So far, we've seen some very locked-in Gatot Kacha picks from our previous seasons, our previous match, rather. But for this matchup, would you think that they should just let the Lancelot go here, as you mentioned from game number 1 draft here for TNC Pro Team?
It depends. If let's say
They're on the blue side.
yeah, let's say they ban Yi Sun Shin on red, then you definitely take Lancelot on blue. If they don't ban Yi Sun Shin, just leave both open. Because honestly, if you're forced to sort of get Lancelot first pick, then you're kind of not dictating the draft, the tempo of the draft.
But let's see if that will be the case as we move on ahead here on to our game number 2 drafting phase. Before that, let's check out on what will be our map. Broken walls?
No.
Oh, it's
Wow.
going to be flying clouds here for our round number 2.
This does favor TNC. They've won some amazing games with it, and this is a map that usually tends to scale towards the late game because the ability to defend lanes is there. Now, Onyx Philippines, they removed
Now we see
CC and Hayabusa. Interestingly enough, TNC still removes the Fanny, respect to King Kong, but now both Yi Sun Shin and Lancelot are open, so this is definitely something that they're happy with on blue. Even if Onyx decides to ban one, they get they get one on blue.
Even though they banned out the Kalea, as you mentioned, there are multiple heroes here available for Busco. They could go for the Grok route. They could go for the Catcher route because you only get one first pick here for TNC Pro Team. Nice ban onto the Yuzong here by Coach Why Not. Will they prioritize the Lancelot? Yes, indeed, for Zyda.
So this is I think Gatot Yi Sun Shin for Onyx. If they don't want the if they don't want the Yi Sun Shin here, maybe Gatot Kimi, Gatot what's left for XP? Maybe not XP, maybe Marksman,
Maybe.
or maybe you take the
Or
Kimi.
get the Arlot all in all here for Kirk.
Yeah, you could get the Arlet. Problem is TNC is gonna play the Phobius
Or
on
the Yi Sun
blue
Shin, of
side.
course, here for King Kong. Or
Yeah, that's the safest. I think you just go Yi Sun Shin Gatot. There's no point flexing the Yi Sun Shin to red 3.
yeah. And considering TNC Pro Team just could get the Kimi onto their hands. Are you good? We're here for Kirk and the Yi Sun Shin. You
Okay.
mentioned no need to flex here for Onyx Philippines.
I don't know if they're trying to bait the the Lunox. This is probably Lunox Gatot for TNC. If they don't take it, then some either Lunox or Gatot is gonna get taken and banned, or maybe both. Honestly, if they don't take both, so TNC, this is a little bit of a requirement, which is a problem because again they're not dictating the draft. This is all Onyx plan.
Yeah. Interesting though, even though they are on the blue side, with the way that it went with the Uranus being the first pick here.
Lunox.
Onyx PH took the wheel out of their hands, but Hilda and then the Lunox you
Okay,
mentioned,
okay.
it's a must for
Yeah.
TNC.
This one I like. They did this against Aurora, the Hilda Flex. Was it Aurora or was it Twisted? It was.
I think it's Twisted.
Either.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the game plan is there for TNC. Like they could flex this Hilda against the Uranus, and the Lunox could be played on both the mid and gold lane. So Onyx, they're gonna run into like flex problems down the line. So just maybe play it safe for Onyx. You get the you can't even take up the Kimi here. So Farsa is too tempting, honestly. if they want to go that route, because you know it's a good hero against the Lunox, could force the Order of Brilliance. You don't mind playing into the Hilda, honestly. So that might be the case, unless they want to go for the Selena again for Super Prince.
Might be a possible option, or just go for Evo if you really don't want to have that firepower. But Valentina this early for Onyx Philippines. Quite interesting take here for Coach Wynett and Hayes.
Yeah, I mean you have a good ult, I guess, the Order of Brilliance, but that's about it. Other than that, you don't deal that much against the against the Hilda. They can also run into problems later on if TNC just decides to go for the Khalid roam instead of the Grok. I think they're banking on the idea that this Valentina pick is gonna block the Grok, and then they can get the Grok red 4.
They're just giving that option, of course, with a Gatot Kacha also. Still open here for TNC Pro Team, considering that 3 more so far is the main user of the Hilda here for TNC Pro Team. And Alice ban for Onyx PH, not really overlooking the flex part of Hilda as well.
Full respect. So for TNC, I think you just ban the Grok. No point in risking giving Onyx Philippines the Grok here. Even though Grok is too tempting to have on TNC, just accept the Khalid and Gato trade, honestly.
But interesting though, we still yet to see what the hero will be for Kelra. Will this be a Kelra ban or a Kelra ban hero here for TNC Pro Team?
I don't think it's wise to ban Kelra here, honestly. There's a lot of good heroes.
The Grok. But there's also another Chaknu on the crowd here.
Yeah, it's a multiverse. He looks like super red, by the way.
Oh yeah, the moment that they brought down the poster of Chaknu, especially on the eyebrow part.
Yeah,
so
it's super Chak.
This is actually the crowd and supporters of TNC Pro Team, the Phoenix Army. And so far, they're very supportive of each other.
I'm loving this crowd.
For now, TNC needs their support as well.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to be the time we finally hear the cheer for Phoenix Army, but we would not be hearing and seeing Esmeralda for game number 2.
What are they cooking for Onyx? Why ban Esme?
That's 3 heroes.
They could have gotten Esme, by the way.
4 heroes. Considering the CC is a flex onto the XP lane as well.
Wait, are they going for a Lapu gold? Are they going for a Lapu gold?
For Kelra?
I don't know. That's probably last pick material, so maybe Onyx just gets either Gato, Khalid, or Hylos, Red 4, and then they look at the TNC's last 2 picks, and then maybe pick up a, Lapu last pick.
Maybe. But for now, for TNC Pro Team, it's going to be the show.
Wipe out all the injustice in the world.
Okay, very nice housekeeping here for Coach Adamax, because Brusco really is good with catch heroes, setup heroes, and the show is one of them.
Yeah, Khalid's good here, honestly.
Sand rises when I give the
It's
word.
going to be a Khalid right on cue here for Brusco.
Okay, TNC.
We're still missing the Rome and gold part, right?
Yeah. We don't know if it's Rome
the
on
Hilda.
Hilda. There's a flex. Honestly, there's a 3-way flex going on for the side of TNC. Safest bet would be to go Lapu.
For 3 more and then put the Hilda onto Chaknu?
I wanna say put the Lapu in gold, honestly.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, you could just go Lapu 3 more and then call me crazy, but Obsidia last pick for TNC, or even the carry.
It worked actually.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a very phenomenal Obsidia user. The Phobius is possible here for TNC Pro Team. And a Bane gold here for Benny Curie.
Okay, the Bane gold I like.
Now it's up to Onyx PH to get a hero for Kelra. Is it going to be a fighter gold or the traditional route of a marksman?
Probably Claude, carry, Arif.
Yeah.
Even though there's you could argue some rubies, honestly.
What if?
Masha.
Wait, I'm trying to lip read what Coach Wynett is doing.
What if you go Clint here? Clint, Natan.
Claude?
They're hovering over Ruby. They're hovering over Ruby. That's the best choice.
Lock it in.
That's the best choice.
Okay, that's
I
going.
like this. I don't understand this Mobius pick, by the way.
Maybe I'm more on the comfort. Here for 3 more, they just don't want to use the Lapu yet again. Rainbow, I'm trying.
I love that Bane. Welcome to game number 2. It's Leo and Bring It Up, bringing you the chance for TNC to maybe get back on the board as they're down 0-1 against Onyx Philippines.
Welcome to Mobile
Taking
Legends.
game 2s or maybe alternate games isn't something new to TNC, and they were able to accomplish that even against the top team of the regular season just yesterday. That's Aurora. And now let's see how they do that, because I'm liking the adjustments from Onyx so far. There's so much respect towards TNC's key heroes, but this time they get the Lancelot too. I think that's another surprise, because they've been making sure Zyda doesn't get a hold of any in game number 1.
Yep, so you see our TNC just put their foot on the gas and say, yeah, just get Zyda something, because that joy was a little too much in game number 1. A lot of action in mid here. Almost getting taken down is Lancy, but he's caught up. King Kong on that usage shit. Oh no, Chaknu!
Wait, this is a Hilda! But at least she got to flicker in the bush.
Trigger that passive, get a little bit of shields on healing. Looking at the initial item builds, you'll see that both junglers get a little bit of extra damage to speed up that farm. What's the gold lane situation like? Again, a Bane versus a Ruby, both have some level of added sustainability.
Yeah, I guess you gotta time the skills very well if you're the Bane. Because a Ruby can jump from or blink every now and then, that's the passive, but if you get to time it so well, or maybe even right after the passive, that there's no choice, or there's no other option but for the Ruby to receive majority of the damage. And I'm probably talking about mostly the deadly catch, if that's the case. But it's not like that's the goal for our gold laners. It's not like they want to kill each other in lane.
They want to leave the lane and join this turtle fight, and that's what Keller is doing. Look at how fast he's going. Brusco jumps on him, Turtle gets pulled slightly over to TNC.
They're really trying to make things hard for Zyda here. He still has vision of the objective, though. Everybody's jumping in, and who gets the turtle?
What?
It's 3mar who actually gets it. The Deadly Cat deals so much damage to Onyx, though, because Benny Cutie joins the fight as well. And Lancy takes a kill on Kelra.
The Phoenix Army come alive. Suddenly, the red side of the Cuneta Astrodome makes some noise as TNT score that first turtle, get 2 free kills as well. I don't blame Onyx, because looking at their lineup now, they can't do much in the early game. What were they expecting? What was the best case scenario here? A Raging Sandstorm into a Time of Fend, and into really, they don't have damage output yet.
Yeah, but it was clear that they wanted the objective. Benny has the flicker to survive, though. And Benny did so much in that previous fight. I guess that's true. Onyx, they just tried to see what they can. But Chaco right here, could he be punished? Mountain Shocker will be used, but that's about it.
Yep, the best thing that Onyx can do is, I don't want to think that I'm being a pessimist by saying this, but accept the fact that the early game ain't yours. Maybe even a part of the mid game. And then use that Uranus as the tool that it's meant to be, a blunt force object.
Yeah.
You just buy time away from 3mar and own that half of the map so that you can get farm on King Kong. That's the only solution I can see now.
I guess even despite that, though, it's clear that they're trying to keep themselves in the game, maybe through, let's say, Brusco and how he keeps trying to invade, or maybe disrupt Zyda. Pay attention to how his farming patterns are, because I guess the Khalid's just that capable of doing that. He's been trying to scout Zyda for a huge majority of the past 4 minutes, but now it's TNC who just keeps grouping up and applying pressure to Onyx and their farm.
Yep, and what that'll do is you'll end up with a dead Khalid. You don't want that. You can't afford that. You can't give more gold over to TNC. They're up 1,000 gold now, and they're owning this turtle pit. Mount Shocker by King Kong. 3 more jumps on Kelra.
You know, he's liking how his passive is almost always active because of the blink skills. But now Jaknu going in gets punished instead. There's the Infernal Pursuits from 3mar, though, but he gets dragged all the way in between their 2 turrets. Kurt fighting back. It's a double kill for him already. Lancey, though, using his ultimate. Will he get to buy the trade? What? The damage from Benny Cutie!
He spit on that thing as if a deadly catch wasn't enough. He hit that ale on a Kirk, too. Again, Kirk had it coming, all right? He's but a baby Uranus. He's just a little small, floating boy. And he can only build so much. I want to see the items because I want to see what he's prioritizing first, right? Is he going physical defense or magic defense first? And looking at it, it seems like it's magic first lately.
Yeah. Benny flickered there. Had to survive that attempt.
See? So it's majority magic because, you know, tough boots, and then he just has a singular jerkin. So he had the right damage profile read out. It's just, it's too much coming from Bane this early.
And this Bane, I think they've tried to at least take him out twice in this game already.
Never, didn't work yet.
But every single time he had his flicker intact. So it's just an easy escape that we get to see from Benny Cutie all the time, and he already gets to pick up his Skypiercer as well.
See how hard the Sigma jungler is working. He's using that Infinite GT30 Pro experience victory for every Madlang gamer. This is your Infinite Can-Cam. He's playing on the Infinite GT30 Pro. Chaknu, wow, takes a good chunk of damage. Onyx got that yellow Ubi going.
Yeah, there are 5 members approaching mid, and Zyda's at the opposite of the map. So could they be looking for a fight or just a quick way to blitz the Lord? Or the Turtle, rather.
Oh, what's he thinking? Went for that conceal and force use the Raging Sandstorm defensively.
Yeah, and now Zyda's back. He can join the fight if he wanted to. So this could potentially break out into a 5v5. Turtle's already here as well. But I have my eyes on Benny. How do they deal with Benny and not get taken out by the surprise burst damage when they've all committed their resources onto the team fight that broke out even without him there just yet?
I think you and Onyx are on the same page. They have their eyes on Benny and they see that he's in mid. So any time that he just sidesteps, he could be part of the Turtle. So they'd rather pay attention to what side is doing first. And if some way, somehow, TNC walk away with both the Turtle and the turret, that's all losses for Onyx. So they're just mitigating the damage, covering up what holes need to be covered up so the sync doesn't completely ship. Looking at the items, oh my god. Benny already has a Skypiercer and a Holy Crystal. He's fully breeding out, Bree.
I do not want to stay close to that kind of Bane at this point. Not when I'm in this spot, not if I'm Onyx and I have a bit of catching up to do. And even if you have so many potential crowd control sources, if you put yourself up close, then that's not going to be a good thing either. Super Prince already using him. Oh, what? How was Lancey caught there?
A sudden response from Onyx. I'll tell you how, Bree. I'm offended. He went in too close. I think there was a window between that move, that dash in, and him clicking the Brilliance, and Kelra clicking that I'm offended. Brusco and the gang are on Chaknu's tail. I'll tell you now, it's a small window of time, but Onyx found it.
I guess you can't really assume that Onyx gets tunnel visioned when they want to chase after a target, because it's so easy for them to just switch on the spot. And I guess that's also probably what happened to Lancey earlier. Maybe he thought they were actually trying to just go for the chase, but then they saw Lancey, and in the blink of an eye, they just suddenly shifted targets.
Yep, that's the secret in Onyx success, especially in their height in the M6 World Championships. It's so scary because they're so good at macro, but also mechanically speaking, any and all of them are always so on point. That's what's keeping this gold lead on a manageable scale. What is that now? About 3,000 gold between Onyx and TNC, despite everything that TNC has walked away with. And a good chunk of that gold is still on King Kong. So between him and Zyda, there still is a chance that if Onyx can find a good position, they could steal this Lord.
Because now TNC are the ones holding it, so maybe stealing the objective will be the way to go. Super Prince, though, already forcing the Brilliance out of Lancey. But Kelra, look at the amount of crowd control control they're able to use onto 3mar. That's going to be a kill over to Onyx. Deadly catch and the retribution from TNC to take that objective.
TNC just had too much distance. A lot of space they're working with. Chakno with a conceal, thinking if they're going to go for the counter attack. He jumps King Kong. Superfam ain't having none of this. They know that they've already lost. Turtle, Lord, everything belongs to Zyda.
3mar was the sacrifice. And they had to put 3 bodies over there just to deal with him. And no one else could have went near TNC.
Nope. It's worth it, I'll tell you now. I think it's a good trade. Look at this. Kelra on his old teammate Chakno. It's interesting how Chakno's using this Hilda. Is it just their lineup or how Chakno seems to have unlocked a new way to play Hilda?
Is he some sort of like bait for majority of the game?
Yeah, he's... Usually you see a Hilda like want to try to whack dudes out, but this is like man-to-man defense, Hilda.
He's just the guy who shows up first.
Like a shadow.
And then he gets poked down really low, like what's happening now.
Runs away.
Runs away. But then TNC, it still seems as if they're in the perfect condition to fight if Onyx chooses to.
There's just too much going on for Onyx to deal with. And they've been trying, they've been holding on. Again, putting farm on King Kong, being on point for Kelra's I'm Offended on the turnaround. But TNC have been able to flourish under that. Approaching the 4K gold lead.
Maybe it's really that one fight to enable King Kong that they're looking at, that they're waiting for. A team fight where Benny isn't as free and where Lancey feels a bit awkward to go in. Clearly you should feel awkward. There's a Khalid, there's a Ruby, there's a Terrify threat from Super Prince, but no purple buffs yet again.
Oh, King Kong gets denied his purple. Grant the purple right in your face. What you gonna do about it, King? At least Zyda had to use the retribution. Well, sadly King Kong did too as a response, but looking at the items, he's behind 1,000 gold. You know what? In perspective, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
King Kong has damage.
It's nice and it's really great how they're able to somehow keep up. But it seems like they have to work together just to provide for King Kong. And maybe that's what Onyx doing right now. Like maybe sacrificing a couple of structures because all they really have to pay attention to is King Kong and him not getting left behind too much. Because if you look at their lineup, they really have to invest a lot, and if not everything, on King Kong. But Super Prince down low, Phantom Execution, but at least he has the brilliance from the IMU to get away.
All right, the answer from Onyx. It's a 4v5, and all this while, hey, ever seen a split pushing Uranus? That's what Kirk did. And TNC, they respond by going at the Lord. They know that they can't take this because Kirk has already rotated.
Yeah. He can catch up anytime and come from behind, but I'm pretty sure TNC already know that. They have vision. Lancey already sees Kirk. Chakno, though, already half HP. What's the plan for TNC here? The plan is to just keep disrupting and zoning as Zyda takes the objective, but it's not just zoning that they do. They take out King Kong and Brusco too.
I can imagine the communications. Let him hit the traceless, let him in. And TNC punished, now 3mar chasing down Kirk.
Kirk's trying to run away. It's a Uranus, he can.
What? Off camera, Fringe gets popped.
By Zyda and Benny.
Zyda is a monster.
Rather.
They got a Lord coming through bot. Mid lane's gonna go down. There's very little things that can stop a Bane from taking your structures. They're at 7K up now.
3mar actually went in there. Zyda's going to provide the follow-up. 3mar gets traded out, and they finally take the base turret. But Lancey will have to say goodbye as well. Onyx defend as much as they can. King Kong still alive. Does TNC still force this?
All right, Prince looking for a target. Can't exactly use IMU while you're in the air. Gets that deadly catch, takes care of that Lord. But they lose their last inhibitor up top.
Okay, they just force the base turrets at least. Magic Sentry revealing Chapnu, but there's the conceal play still. Onyx might want to look for something, and it's Benny Cutie that they're trying to go after. But they spot Zyda, and they have to back away.
Here's the real dilemma. How do you stop Zyda purely? Like, how do you take him down? Because Prince doesn't have exactly the best crowd control. Brusco has just one big one. Kelra, it's temporary. You know, you displace him, but
yeah.
Phantom Execution, Thorn Rose, Puncture Puncher, I'm good. I think that's a huge dilemma here that Onyx has.
And ideally, in those brief moments, you should have enough burst damage to deal with the Lancelot, but it seems like they don't! Phantom Execution gets held for a bit, but still, Zyda making his way, dealing enough damage, forcing Super Friends to walk back to the base. See, it's even in those small openings that you don't get to see the damage coming from Onyx just yet.
And that's when he was already serving himself up on a silver platter. You see how he's punctured into the rest of Onyx, and none of them could stop him. That is the real issue here. Zyda has gone unfettered. He is running through Onyx side of the jungle and through their lineup with impunity. 7-6, a bare base. Onyx haven't even broken through the tier 2s. I mean, I'd like to see them come back to that tier 2 up top. I'd like to see somehow maybe Kirk set it up, because that seemed to work. And he's had a, looking at the stats, Brigida, he's had the best game out of all the Super Fam right now at 3-2-1.
Yeah, that's true. But Zyda and the rest of TNC might not let Onyx do that anymore. They've been paying attention to the top lane even, especially now that we are about to see the next Lord spawn. So they're keeping, or they're managing everything before this objective, which feels like it heavily favors them either way.
Yep, again, that's what you get when the map is on your side, when you got a huge 6K gold lead, and when the opponent's utility, I'm talking about Onyx, just isn't enough. Like, there's so many things to set up for you to even clap back. This ain't even a dance. This is literally a sting operation. It's an entrapment by TNC. They're gonna do the same thing. They might even let King Kong trace this in just for them to kill him again.
Yep. But look at how Prince and Brusco are holding this rush.
Whoa.
Oh no, the Flicker Raging Sandstorm doesn't connect, and Keller actually gets targeted by Zyda over here. King Kong is looking to be next. Another Thorn Rose successfully takes him down, and Chaknu's blocking everybody.
They use Benny as bait, and Zyda gets a triple. He's on Brusco.
A failed attempt now turned to this. A flicker from Benny, and they're not letting him go back home.
With Kirk left on the map, there's no way this Uranus defends.
Godlike for Zyda as he gets a hold of the Lancelot. TNC are not letting us have a sweep.
1-1. TNC snatch back the momentum as they take game number 2.
Could you hear that? I could hear the Phoenix Army. They're alive.
Very affectionately called the Phoenix Boys by Chakno. Let's hear from Midnight and Athena. You like?
Oh, yes, we like that. And now we finally hear the cheers from the crowd of the Phoenix Army as they finally get a point versus Onyx Philippines.
I just don't like, I love the way TNT played this game, the aggression. Again, this is what I was saying earlier. Like, now you see TNT, they're the ones doing the Sigma pattern. Onyx lost mid lane control. They didn't have anything on his Valentina pickup. Super Friends, I gotta say, this was an underwhelming performance on the Valentina, and also they did not really address the the full use of Trimar, and Zyda was just allowed to puncture through game number 2 and get the win for TNC. Almost perfect game for the Lancelot. In fact, he didn't even die in this game.
Our crowned MVP for that game. So far, that is how you jungle. Strong contender indeed up against the King of the Jungle with this Lancelot prior pick.
Yep.
Now we are talking. Now we see that you finally get a hero that really complements Zyda the way that he plays.
Yeah, we did say, if they leave both open, just take the Lancelot. And Zyda took that. They've gotten themselves a very comfortable draft. This is very TNC-esque, especially with the Hill Deflex. That was very wonderful. coming out from TNC. I still think any other XP laner would have performed better, but you gotta commend the player. 3mar, he performed he played a fantastic Phoebus game. The dark waves, the constant catch onto the backside. Also, Chapnu shutting down Super Prince and Brusco, even though Onyx Philippines had a better team fight comp. The fact of the matter is these team fights are awkward. It's all scattered. Every every position has to be accounted for Onyx Philippines for them to actually engage. But that's what made the game for TNT so good, because Chapnu was just constantly breaking these positions and these orders from Onyx, and this is what I love about TNT. They bring in the chaotic gameplay.
And that's how you do it. The Chapnu way, of course, we have to acknowledge that Super Prince wasn't able to maximize the IMU because all the time he had to copy the Order of Brilliance for Lassie just so he could survive once Chapnu pounces on him. But now for TNC Pro Team, this is the way that we saw them get 5 games out of Aurora.
Yeah,
and
same
not
vibes.
only that, we finally see Lancey as well on why he really locks in this Lunox.
Yeah.
We see him shine. Yes, for game number 1, there was a struggle. But for this game number 2, perfect play for his Lunox.
That's why I was worried when they, Onyx Philippines took the Uranus. It's more like, yeah, sure, we could beat the Lunox, but didn't you watch their game against Aurora? That man has played 5 Lunox games, even though it's, some of his plays are questionable. The thing is, TNT made Aurora work. And now you force them to play this lineup, and this is what you get. They got the Sigma treatment in the middle lane. They got Landseed on the Uranus, and the late game it was basically just Zaida. Even though Benecutie, it was a phenomenal Bane game. He was unstoppable, honestly. Nobody could actually catch this guy, because even if they tried, the deadly catch is gonna come out, which begs the question. Where was the deadly catch on the Valentina? We only saw it twice. And you did point out that, Chapnu being always in the face of Super Prince, the Valentina was essentially forced to always copy the Order of Brilliance, which again brings me back to the question, why was the Valentina picked up in the first place?
If you're going to have a hard time, just pick a hero that would suffice Super Prince with his mobility, right? For TNT Pro Team, acknowledging Benecutie as well, you mentioned. And for the latter portion of the game, he was like, Zaida, no more Maniac. I would just love to finish off this round. And just went for the deadly catch and actually finish off this round before the 18-minute mark. Now, looking at the bigger picture onto the stats, this is why I'm mentioning that Zaida really plays so well to be able to do this against King Kong. He's actually using one of his comfort picks here for the season. 3 straight turtles, then 2 lords here for game number 2. And not only that, he actually was able to deny the jungle against the Sigma jungler.
It's very poetic, because like you match these two, they came from the same team. King Kong left TNC, got the championship with Onyx Philippines, but now TNT, Zaida is sending a different message. I don't need to leave my team. Let me carry my team, and Zaida did just that. Phenomenal gameplay all across the board for the boys, the Phoenix boys, and TNT, as Chapnu's rightfully claimed so. But on the Philippines, again, there's a lot of problems on their draft, in their execution as well. And so far, the Ruby Gold Lane Fighter has not worked for anybody, even in the regular season. So I think, even though I did say, in the draft, it looked good, I just think that, it's such a risky pick, honestly.
I do agree with you. It looked promising.
Yeah.
Okay, it looked promising. But looking at this one, full of hopes for this guy, the carry in both the rich guy is going to be Zaida's. The Sandbag Kirk, of course, really defended a lot of the damages, but still, the setup just isn't there. And the damage here, as you mentioned, Super Prince wasn't able to maximize copying the deadly catch or whatsoever he wanted to copy. But for this round, the BPI rich guy, Zaida, did a spectacular. He not only carried the game, he ate.
Yeah. arguably one of the best players in Season 16, honestly. Like, this guy just continues to impress so many people. Again, commended by so many, you know, prominent names in the Mlbb scene. Oh My Venus, even KelVJ yesterday. And now, he's actually out jungling the Sigma jungler.
Now, I want to call him Sir Zyda.
Sir Zyda?
Yes, because he used the Lancelot. He's a knight.
Sir Lancelot. Sir
the knight in shining armor here is going to be Zyda here for TNC Pro Team. You mentioned numerous KOLs, pro players, even analysts as yourself. Zyda is not really at the prime, but is at his best this season. And acknowledging the fact, of course, that this is still a do-or-die match, and to be able to recover from the game number 1 and for game number 2, a total reset for the draft, of course. Props to Coach Etomax and Coach Hito, of course.
Yeah.
And so far, always acknowledge Hito. And even though we've seen the Selena being picked up for game number 1, for game number 2, the Valentina right now for Superfest just isn't it. It wasn't it. There are multiple heroes that we could finally see if ever. This is just a game number 2 for the second match of the day. Still elimination match. Only one can survive. Only one will be able to face the LPH tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough potentially 4 games for these two teams, because it's going to go back and forth in draft and gameplay.
And to go back and forth onto what happened onto game number 2, let's dive in deeper and get to know what happened there together with our analysts. Let's head on over to Wolf.
Isa sa mga criticism ko sa TNC ay yung kanilang box. Sinama ko yan sa keys to victory na pwedeng i-unbox ng Onyx Philippines yung ginagawang formation ng TNC, but it wasn't true in this game. Particularly dun sa last clash na nakita natin. And nakakatuwa kasi reminiscent siya ng mga ginagawa ng TNC in their match going up against Aurora. Pag titignan natin dito, exact the same spot. And dahil merong konting triggers para sa side ng TNC na malaman nila na walang nag-shove ng side lanes para sa side ng Onyx Philippines. Tapos etong si Uranus ay nakita nila dun sa may gitna. Ang kailangan lang gawin ni Chakto ay check itong L-Bush, pati na rin itong tinatawag na Nubush. Nung nakita niya si Keldra na walang kasama, dito na nagpanik yung Onyx Philippines. Hinawakan ng Lord ang TNC at unti-unting nagpakita itong si Benny QT, pero nakaramdam siya para ba talagang may senses bilang isang carry ng team. At nung pagtalon dito ni Brusco, nakita natin na nagmintis na. And if you're looking at the positioning ng ating dalawang teams, mukhang hindi na nga talaga na forma ng side ng Onyx Philippines so kanilang box. And in the other side, ito namang TNC, napakaganda ng pwestuhan nila dito sa mapa. Nahanap nila yung crucial na mga heroes. Keldra, for example, safe. Etong si Kirk ay hindi makakaabot dun sa laban dahil mabilis din namang kumilos etong TNC. That eventually gave them the advantage. Nauna pa ni Zaidang makuha itong kill kay Keldra at sunod-sunod na nga yung pag-snowball dito. Di na natin kailangan i-explain, kailangan na lang natin panoorin because at this point, dahil walang tamang formation ang side ng Onyx Philippines, TNC literal na nag-kolekta na lang ng kanilang mga kills. At syempre, etong triple kill mula doon kay Zaida. Tinahi pa nga yung mga minion wave that actually was not in favor of Onyx Philippines. Etong laban na to ay napaka-importante ang draft, pero mas importante pa rin ang formation sa ating mapa. In this Lord Dance, na alam nating lugi ang Onyx Philippines, mas lalo pa nilang pinalugi yung sarili nila by isolating Keldra at pinunish siya ni Chakto. Hindi pwede yan kay Chakto. The improvements from TNC are great. At nandito na nga tayo, pabunta sa game number 3. Back to the panel.
Thank you so much, Wolf, for dissecting onto what happened for game number 2, specifically pointing out key moments here for TNC Pro Team, eliminating the box, the circle, or whatever shape it is that Onyx was trying to form for game number 2. But you could also form and be featured as the next MPL Philippines Super Fan of the Month. All you have to do is join the MPL Philippines official group, engage with the community, and just keep those interactions positive.
Share any MPL-related news and updates to the group for your chance to be named as the MPL Philippines Super Fan of the Month.
And so far, we featured numerous super fans here on our MPL Philippines official group. And you could also get to know the players and interactions with our audience analysts there onto our official groups, and you could also showcase your esports skills and passion for gaming by organizing your own local tournaments through eProject Esports for Everyone.
Participants in this program will be provided with special access to tournament modes, in-game items, styles, and many more. Visit the MPL Philippines website for more information and, of course, how to apply.
And that's also a start. If you want to grind, you have the tournament access.
Yep.
You want a community of your own. If you're actually willing to make an effort and create your own tournaments, this is a big help. The esports project for everyone. And for all the communities out there, we have interesting booths here on our MPL Super Fan CTR and MPL Festival. You could also see your favorite players. MDL teams, of course, are visiting here, and the merches from different teams across MPL Philippines.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to look at here. So I think we have a surprise for these guys.
We will be able to see what's happening on our MPL Festival. So let's all watch this.
Magandang gabi and welcome back to Super Fan City. This is your very own Odin in another episode of Adding Merchandise to My Collection. And we are here at TNC Pro Teams booth with Miss Sophia. Ano po ba ang mga bestseller natin dito?
Actually, ang bestseller namin is jacket at season 16 na jersey.
Napakaganda talaga nitong jersey na to. Ano ba yung kakaiba dito sa booth nyo?
Meron kami ditong light stick.
Parang gusto ko yan mga ganyan kumikinang. Maraming salamat! Next up, the Minds booth with Kuya Jerome. Ano bang meron dito sa booth nyo?
Yung mga merch po natin na may jacket po, tsaka jersey. And then yung cup.
Parang bagay sa akin to, Kuya. Bagay ba sa akin to? Patingin niya akong bagay. Ay, parang oo nga, no? Thank you, ah. Next landing, Falcon's Nest. At makikita niyo dito may dice sila